Meet Margaret Stump, a hardy lady who's had word of her stinky husband wandering the wastes of Kentucky. Go and watch his story if you haven't already. Armed with an axe and astride her gorgeous steed, a British-made 1952 Vincent Black Lightning motorbike, also known as Vincent, or whispered Vince, for those long, bumpy days on the road, Margaret Stump is on an epic quest across the county to find her husband, Lesley. This is a heavily modded playthrough of Project Zomboid, with around 15 map mods installed as well as a mod list you can find in the description. Here's a brief overview of the traits and stats of our Lady Stumpington: underweight, depressive, panic attacks, smoker, slow reader, lark, amateur mechanic, vehicle nomad, outdoor camping gear, biker nomad, dexterous, strong back and between the shadows. And then we move onwards into this 100-day tale of Margaret and her motorbike, 100 days on the road, exploring a world unlike any you've seen before. Try and get that door open. First time, Margaret Strong. Ah yes, Margaret Stump. She finds some butter, drinks from the dirty bathroom sink, then heads down the road on Vince, stopping to stare into the dead zombie's face for a moment. Right, she's just going to eat this entire stick of butter right now because Margaret is underweight. She's been on the road a long time and hasn't had much to eat. Margaret loots a number of houses, collecting all the necessary gear for survival, bags, food and other goodies, while also slicing her way through the unfortunate zombies. She does a bit of singing to herself under her breath. Margarine, so eat that whole tub. Oh, Margaret, she loves margarine. She uses margarine. Everything is going swimmingly for Margaret. Until... Ah, you bastard. It's okay, Margaret. This crazy guy with his shower cap on knocked my hat clean off my head. It's okay, Margaret. Calm down. She patches herself up, goes inside to grab her beloved cowboy hat, and then gets decked out in some new gear. Damn, Margaret, you're looking drippy already. Looking good. Alright, let's go. Down the road, she gets distracted by this zombie who she believes might have a backpack, and remembers her hand is hurting, so she can't swing the axe so well. Do you love zombies? Do you love Margaret? Do you love eggs? If so, please consider subscribing. Enjoy the video. Margaret needs to take some evasive measures in case the zombies eat her while she's kicking Vincent to life. And we'll get back to Vincent. Okay, get on the motorbike. Get on the motorbike. Yep, start the engine. Oh, Jesus, Margaret. She grabs some cigarettes from the gas station before the door gets swamped with rotting corpses. So she sneaks around the back and then hops on Vincent right under their dumbass noses. Let's make our getaway. Yeah, we're out here. Let's go, Margaret. We're leaving. Margaret returns to the small shack on the outside of town to set up base for the first night. She leans up against Vincent and eats a bag of scavenged chips and smokes a sweet cigarette. It is harsh on her throat. She sets up the tent inside, puts together a small campfire, then forages in the nearby woods as the sun sets. Shadows twist in the trees, and she feels a little scared. Margs prepares a meal on Vincent's seat. The oils ooze into the leather. She's just cooking on the back of Vincent, using him as a little table. She's going to have to sit on that. It's going to be all stinky and greasy. Greasy motorbike seat. She pulls out a doll she found in one of the houses and plays with its hair. It makes her feel calmer. The chili stir-fry sizzles on the fire. She sits for a while longer and tries breathing exercises. Margaret is not used to being out here, all on her own, surrounded by nothing but the growling dead. But for Lesley, she'll brave it, just in case he's still alive somewhere out there. Did you hear something, Margaret? No. What was that? It's okay, it's okay. Warm your hands. Even though it's 90 degrees out and you're wearing a puffer jacket, you must be absolutely boiling. Okay, drink all the white wine. Try and calm yourself down. Margaret downs a bottle of white wine in the hopes it helps her sleep, but she's still woken in the middle of the night by a sudden fright. Oh, the zombie at the window? No, there's nothing. She is still alone. I mean, it's very understandable to be a bit scared, but this is a pretty safe little room. It's okay, there's no one out here. Get this fire on. Get some light. Night 1. Spent the night in a small cabin. She's got an infected hand, so we're just going to hold on for a moment. After resting up after that stressful night, Margaret heads out again. The road is wide and open, the sun is fierce on her red cheeks, and the wind whips through her hair. A stench of rotting crops fills the air, hard to discern from the ordinary smell of rotting flesh. She finds a small group of houses in the dead fields and decides to check them out. Her heart is still racing even at the sight of one of these zombies climbing over a fence. She tries to relax and bury the axe firmly in its skull. Belly button ring. Just get that in your belly button, Margaret. It's actually disgusting. Imagine putting a zombie's belly button ring in your belly button. Belly buttons are disgusting anyway, actually. Foul little holes, foul little pits of mould and gunk. Disgusting. After stealing the zombie's belly button ring, Margaret walks the fields looking for old vegetables, anything even slightly fresh. No luck, but she does find a fetching yellow hard hat. She can't get rid of the cowboy hat because it belonged to Lesley once upon a time, and she hopes she can return it to him. She hits the road again and searches for the next spot to explore. The farmhouses up the road are peaceful and seemingly untouched by the apocalypse. She takes a bath upstairs, careful to close the curtains, because old habits die hard. Margaret shoves some jam in her throat, careful not to look too closely at the mouldy bread on the table, crawling with maggots. Then she begins to set up the camp for the evening. Tomato and peanut butter stir fry, is it, Margaret? You've opened this tin of beans, and now you're going to put it back to Vincent's little pocket. Beany little pocket. Margaret sets up the tent in the middle of the floor. She would rather go upstairs to sleep in the double bed, but something about all that dead, dusty skin, the sense and touch of some old corpse, makes her feel extremely uncomfortable. She'd much rather stay inside her own comfortable meat pocket, her cosy little tent. She puts down her doll to watch over the room, to bring her peace, but unfortunately... She woke up with night terrors again. She can actually hear a zombie this time. Have a cigarette. Just one wandering around. Inside, Margaret. It's okay. Margaret sits on the toilet in the dark and waits for it all to blow over. In the morning, she smashes the zombie's head in that had so rudely awoken her and continues on her way. Hitchhikers may be escaping inmates. Check out this place first. Delicious orange soda. On the other side of the road is a large drive-through theatre. She investigates. There are plenty of cars here to fiddle with, and that's good because Vincent is in pretty dire shape. Mags needs to sharpen up her mechanics and electric skill before she can start tinkering with her little friend. There'll be nothing on that screen ever again, Margaret. Don't look at me like that. You know it's the truth. I can repair the suspension with duct tape. That doesn't sound like an excellent idea. Ah yes, sit on the floor and eat in front of the toilet. Delicious. Must smell amazing. Utterly scrumptious. She's very tired. Okay, Margaret, let's get some sleep. Hopefully you sleep slightly better here. Nice, she slept all the way till 7:40. Slept at the drive-in theatre. Peaceful night's sleep for once. She begins the day facing an astronomical issue. Vincent's little pockets are already full of shite. They can be repaired, but Margaret doesn't even know how to use a needle yet, or possess one either. So there's no other option but to hit the road on the hunt for more adventure and her lost husband. Pickles! Margaret is indeed in Rosewood, an area she has read about on the news. Completely overrun with zombies, of course, but maybe there's someone out there. Maybe? As she loots more houses, she becomes more and more depressed, until she spies something excellent in the schoolyard. The bus is in pretty awful shape, but Margaret is already thinking of the future. Of course, she has a few skills to level first before she consider moving into it full time, but it's a start. Just as a small aside here, Margaret does indeed return to this beautiful bus, but you'll have to keep watching. Margaret finds this car, which is in pretty good shape, and one that can be used as a utility and storage vehicle, at least temporarily. It takes her a long while to hotwire though, and she keeps getting little electric shocks on her fingers. The inside of the car smells faintly of cat shit. Come on, Margaret, you can do it. Nice, new pair of wheels. She sets up a temporary camp, but doesn't feel great about it. She's a nervous wreck and severely depressed. With the fire roaring, Margaret smashes her way into the school bus to see what's inside. It's dark, but there's so much room. If she wanted to, she could snuggle up on one of the musty seats, but she prefers her meat pocket, the trusty tent. Take off a bit of some of your clothes. I mean, she's covered in blood. She looks crazy. Margaret does make a mess, like someone else you might remember. Just gonna pop over this fence. Disgusting. Margaret, absolutely disgusting. After turning that zombie's head into spaghetti bolognese, she settles down to sleep, only to get rudely awoken once again in the night. Whoa, what's that noise? What's that noise? A helicopter. Cool, no problems other than the helicopter that passed overhead and the fact that she got a little wet. I think it's time to go investigate the school. Quietly, Margaret, quietly. Hello, I can see your butt. Margaret wants to investigate the school to see if there's a library, but except for the shambling teachers and students still left over in their eternal prison, there ain't any books in here. What are you doing there, sir? Oh, Jesus. It's okay. Stay calm. Margarine. He emerges from the trees. I think because it's raining, we're going to take the car out. Margaret doesn't want to get wet. Just going to do a little exploring. Let's see what goodies await us inside the fire station. I hear them, but I cannot see them. Ah! Fireman Margaret. She grabs a shower in the ice-cold, mosquito-infected waters of the fire station, then cleans her new fire gear, and heads over the street to the police station. Absolutely nothing. A couple of boxes of shotgun ammo. Hardly anything at all. Whoa, Margaret, what are you doing? She's been driving a motorbike for too long. Back at the temporary camp, she decides that yes, tonight she will sleep in the school bus. The helicopter last night has spooked her. The night is uneventful and she awakes for another day on the road. Upon reflection, Margaret decides that it's a little too early to begin settling in a school bus. Before she leaves Rosewood though, she needs some books. She hops back in the car and heads into middle of town. She's just going to take out a little anger on the populace of Rosewood. She pillages the bookshop after the bloodshed and gets some very important books, like Mechanics 1, Electricity 1 and all that good stuff, then returns to the camp. Oops. Sorry, Vincent. It did a little wobble. Margaret decides that she's going to have to leave the bus behind. She has no propane, no mechanical skills whatsoever, and plenty of Knox County still to explore. Packing up a few bits and pieces and leaving other stuff in the back of the car, she heads to the outskirts of Rosewood and comes across an auto shop. There's hardly anything inside of any value, there never is, so she carries on out of the town. Out in the field, she comes across another farmhouse. She puts up a tent and carries the corpses outside. Ew, disgusting squelchy flesh. Ew. Margaret lights the fire, cooks some food, then sits on the sofa in the living room to read her book. Unfortunately, she enters a Project Zomboid alternate dimension and has to make a bizarre escape. Oh no, she's stuck in the sofa. She's going to have to climb out the window. Oh, Project Zomboid, I love you. In the morning, she heads out again and finds another gorgeous house in the countryside, this time infested with football fans. She mops them up nice and easy and continues on her way. Hidden a little in the bushes, she sees a sign. Welcome to Blackwood. Curious, she investigates, but she wishes she hadn't. Caution, quarantine area. Oh man, what happened here? Look at all this detritus, Margaret. Frolic! Frolic in the trash! Margaret sneaks into the ruined town of Blackwood, calling out quite quietly to see if anyone answers, but there is only deathly silence, or the clanging of a metal tin on the floor, or the deep, low groan of a zombie behind a shutter. She takes the barricades down off a door, creeps through a dusty clothes shop, and stumbles across a horde of shambling monsters lingering in the buildings. Oh, good stuff. Someone in the window. This place is teeming with zombies. You build so many barricades, eventually it becomes like a prison. Oh boy, there's a lot of zombies here. Oh, that looks grim down there. Blackwood stinks of death. Margaret feels on edge, like she's being watched from the shadows. So much destruction. She hates it and has to get out immediately. This place is horrible. I don't like it. Just going to give myself a little wash. Got covered in gore and disgusting stuff. I think we can probably camp in here this evening as well, on the edge of this cesspit. Oh, look how Vincent glows. My darling Vincent. Margaret wakes in the night, of course, because the horrors of Blackwood are just on her doorstep. She heads out in the morning feeling a bit bleary, then stops at a farmhouse just up the road. A snuffling, gurgling sound comes from the building, and she peeks in the window to see a female zombie hunched over a corpse, eating its guts. She doesn't want to get too distracted on her quest for propane, so she continues on. A little later, she finds a small dirt path that leads into the trees, towards a small group of abandoned huts. It appears to be some sort of military base, but the cupboards are empty, and Margaret jumps back on Vincent. Just a little bit further up the road, she finds a couple of large food storage warehouses on the edge of a lake. It looks like a decent place to set up camp and try to fish, so she shouts a few times and clears out the surrounding area. With the tent set up inside one of the warehouses, which smells faintly of rotten vegetables but does protect her from the undead outside, she reads how to craft a fishing rod and then falls asleep. On the next morning, she sets off on Vincent whilst it's still dark. There's a gas station down the road which she pillages for pop and sugary snacks, then jumps on her trusty steed. She finds a car park and siphons some gas very slowly with a plastic bottle from this car and pours it into Vincent's little guzzling mouth. She really needs to find a gas can. Approach quietly, Margaret. There's quite a lot of zombies here. There's a Gigamart in the next lot over, which she explores. But she just doesn't have room to carry any more tins or food goods in Vincent's small saddlebags. She needs to repair them soon for more room. Hello, sir. Customer on aisle 1. The back of the mart has even more shelves of tinned foods. I won't become one of them. Looks like you did, ma'am. Looks like you did. Just behind the mart is a row of houses with garages, and she hopes that she might find some propane or propane torches tucked away. Unfortunately, none of them have any propane, so she packs it in and tries her luck elsewhere. Whoa! Sick air, Margaret. Are you okay? I think she's okay. She didn't even hurt herself. Vincent, on the other hand, probably did take a bit of damage there. We need to find propane stat or Vincent. Margaret really needs to focus up, otherwise she's going to die flying over the handlebars. She drives past the distillery, no use to her, not yet, then arrives at McCoy Logging, but the building is full of zombies, and she's not interested in planks. The warehouses nearby look more promising, and while the bottom floor is just logs, Margaret checks upstairs for good measure. Propane tank is a start. Just need a torch. Ah, yes. Although she has propane now, she still doesn't have a propane torch, which is necessary to do repairs to Vincent. What is that over there? Some kind of temporary camp. Need to check that out for sure. First though, let's see if there's any propane anywhere. Maybe we can spend the night in that camp actually. She pops open a few garages but doesn't find anything of really any use and is starting to feel a bit sleepy. Margaret returns to the top floor of the warehouse because it feels fairly safe and puts up the tent and gets her doll out. She rests through the night without any night terrors or nightmares. Her dreams are instead full of sunny days with Lesley, sat on Rod the RV's step, watching the sun on the lake. Margaret drives past a hospital, but decides that's the last possible place on Earth she wants to be. Well aware that dozens of robe-wearing dead shamble along those sterile hallways, and instead she finds something else, much more interesting. Looks nice though. Oh, a caravan. Now that is an intriguing proposal. Very intriguing proposal. Oh, it's very cozy in here. Lovely colour as well. Seems to be in very good condition. A caravan could be an excellent upgrade for Vincent, but she doesn't want to leave her beloved motorcycle behind quite yet. Margaret rummages through the cars in the lot and then sneaks into the motel to fill her water bottle. She doesn't really have the patience to deal with any zombies right now, so she just takes her time quietly. Then it's off to another gas station and a nearby bait shop. Fishing tackle could be useful, and there's just a fishing rod here, so we don't even have to make our own. With fishing stuff in tow, Margaret finds a delightful spot by a nearby lake to set up for a couple of days. Oh, lovely. This is the perfect spot to set up. Look at it. Nice little cabins. There's even a bed in here, Margaret. Oh, Jesus. Just stand in the cupboard and have a cigarette, Margaret. Breathe in those fumes. Breathe them in, Margaret. Breathe them in. Okay, you ready? Okay, let's check out some of these other cabins then. After Margaret has done making animal noises to herself, she investigates a few of the other cabins and kills some more of the woodland stragglers nearby to make the area a little safer. Feeling a bit more secure with a circle of corpses around her, she heads back to her little cabin, this temporary island of peace. Alright, it's pretty early, but she's very tired, so how you doing, Vincent? Enjoying the fresh air? On day number 10, Margaret decides that she should clear out a few more zombies before settling down to peacefully fish for the day, so she wanders through a few more cabins. Things start to go a little poorly, as you'll soon see. Hey there. I reckon that was his car. Looks like a guy who might drive a car like this. Well, it's died. It's in good nick too. Under Cougar. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to get in this car. Well, there's one. And some more. And some more. Okay, so they are out there. Whoa. Hope I didn't bite off more than I can chew here. I don't think I did. Maybe I did. Margaret has indeed bitten off more than she can chew. No one gave her the ultimate life lesson of never to use the glorious honker unless you are sure that it is 100% safe and proper to do so. She performs some tactical evasive procedures, runs away in the trees, and eventually manages to thin the horde out one by one by leading them through the tree line. Okay, things were a little manic there. Just gonna sit, take some beta blockers, pop some pills, Margaret, have a cigarette as well. Okay, calm down. Stare at the lake, stare at the gorgeous lake. Eventually, the bloodshed is complete. She lights a fire and warms her slightly numb fingers from where she's been grasping the crowbar. She prepares some food and puts it on the fire, then sits on one of the plastic chairs and reads a few magazines and books. After eating, she wants to try and find some little bugs to use as bait, but finds nothing in the woods. Baitless, but with a decent rod, she stands on the end of the jetty and goes fishing. It's ultimately peaceful, and she is constantly reminded of the old world and her trips with Lesley. Did we catch any fish? We did. We caught a medium crappie. Amazing. Slice it up on the back of Vincent, rub the fish into his leather. So now we've got some fish fillet. Fish fillet. With the first fish caught, she reads more books by the light of the fire as the sun goes down, and then prepares for bed. Okay, lie down with your doll. Get some sleep, Margaret. Fish stir fry with soy sauce. No vegetables to go in it, just fish. But that should be okay. After eating fish stir fry for dinner, Margaret sits and reads for the entire day. She's got a lot to learn about mechanics and electricity, plus fishing, cooking and more, and this place is peaceful enough for her to do so without a zombie breathing down her neck. The day passes in a quiet blur. Let's rip apart all these digital watches to try and level up our electricity skill first thing in the morning. Throw all the electronics on the floor. Have a look outside on this glorious sunny morning. On day 13, Margaret catches herself some breakfast and prepares it. But it's just a massive plate of fish, and it actually makes her kind of sad. She tries to jazz it up a bit with an extra ingredient. Fish and peanut butter. Margaret, what a special concoction you've made. Eat that 6 fillets of fish. After eating, she sits in her plastic chair and reads for the entire day. Tailoring, fishing, cooking, carpentry, mechanics. She will be an expert at them all before the zombies inevitably eat her intestines. She heads to bed, but it's windy outside and every scratching leaf or creaking tree sounds like an intruder, dead or alive. Terror. It's okay. Smoke an emergency cigarette. Everything's going to be okay if you smoke an emergency cigarette, Margaret. Again, she fishes until she has 10 kilograms of fish, which is too much fish. She puts the fillets into the dead fridge, even though it smells like rotten milk a little bit. It won't keep for long in this hot Kentucky summer, but it's better than nothing. The rest of the day is more of the same. Fishes in the morning, reads in the daytime, smokes a cigarette on the jetty, and suffers from more terrors in the night. She sits in the dark by torchlight and waits for her breathing to calm down. before finally falling asleep again. Just lie in the little cabin, listen to the rain. Enjoy your last little day of peace and quiet, Margaret, before we hit the road again. It's having a real bad time. A couple of panic attacks. It's okay, Margaret. There's no one out there. It's just the sound of the wind, the rain. You heard the lady. It's time to move out. The island of peace, fish and books by the lakeside has come to an end. The journey must go on. A lovely couple of days of peace come to an end. Margaret must beat ceaselessly against the apocalypse like a forgetful fish in a fish tank. Perfect, peaceful few days by the lake. It's this place. It doesn't take Margaret long before she finds her next target. Another gas station. Looks like there might be a garage nearby too. Definitely worth checking out. Oh, that's quite a lot of police zombies there. Okay, before we deal with that, we're just going to have a cigarette in this heavy rain, Margaret. Come on. As you can see, Margaret has become rather adept with her crowbar, and she remains somewhat calm as the police zombies swarm around her. Listen to their little chipmunk noises. Cute, little, bloodthirsty chipmunks dressed as police officers. Yes, Margaret. Okay. Whew, no more foolish behaviour, okay, Margaret? We go again. Oh, there's an ATV out there. Oh, that could be an interesting upgrade for Vincent. Let's go check it out. Lightweight Viper hood. She drives to the next lot over. The rain is coming thick and fast. It's going to be a mighty summer storm. To hide from the rain, she clears the lot. Horrible summer storm today, Margaret. Seek shelter inside. Then ducks into the postal services building. She clears out the warehouse, but there isn't much to find on the boxes and shelves. Horrible. Upstairs, she finds a sofa that provides a comfy spot out of the rain, so she collects some clothes from dead zombies to do some tailoring. She repairs her clothes and adds some padding, then reads a book. Margaret sleeps on the sofa with the sound of the storm raging outside. Still raining. Nowhere near as heavy as it was last night, though. Hello. Looks like a little survivor one. Got no gas. In otherwise pretty good nick, though. Spent the night in the postal office. Terrible storm. ATV here. Margaret gets her bearings. There is so much to see and do in Kentucky, and she is just getting started. Before leaving the post office, she undresses all the zombies in the rain. Oh, how lovely, Margaret. Then heads on her way. She drives until she finds a small town. There aren't too many zombies, so she pulls into a house on the outskirts. The rain is still coming thick and heavy, and she wants to learn more tailoring so she can finally repair Vincent's saggy saddlebags. She spends some time patching up and repairing her clothes in the house, and eventually levels up her tailoring. Nice. She's just eating little fingers worth of peanut butter. I should also mention here that Margaret's stump is currently on the little bit of the plump side, so she's on a finger-only diet of peanut butter until she loses some weight. She heads outside to repair Vincent's bags, but he has other plans. Wait. No, there it is. Are you rolling away, Vincent? Are you trying to escape? I think he is. Stay still. Vincent? Where are you going? The wheels are not in the best condition. Margaret repairs the bags, but can't do much about the wheels without some fix-a-flat or better mechanic skills, so she heads just a short distance down the road. There are zombies, and the storm is picking up again, so she bunkers down in a house. She has a bath and listens to the rain outside. It's almost like the old days. What the? How did you get in here? After that fright downstairs, she puts an armchair to block the staircase in the hopes no zombie can clamber over while she sleeps. The rain stopped. Good morning, Vincent. It's time to rock and roll again. She pries open some garages, absolutely nothing inside. She's going to stop bothering soon, I promise, and then drives through the dead town. It's as busy as hell. Slightly panicked, she just drives right on through until she reaches the trees on the other side, like a scene out of The Truman Show. The Truman Show released in 1998, 4 years after the zombie apocalypse, so it never happened. Margaret is going mad, weird visions of the future, Jim Carrey as a zombie in his LA mansion. She turns back on herself, checks out some barns, no propane here, just hay, so she drives all the way back out of town. Although there is probably plenty of loot to be had, she needs propane more than anything, so away she goes. At a gas station, she stops in the car park and randomly checks the boot of a car. Inside is some fix-a-flat, which is amazing, because she can repair one of Vincent's wheels now. Then she drives fast through the forest. The wind whips around her, the air smells fresh and fruity and summery. It's pretty gorgeous, she thinks. Eventually, she comes across some ominous tower blocks on the edge of another town. Yeah, those buildings are giving me the heebie-jeebies, the apartment blocks. I think not. Don't worry, we're not going in there. Not in a million years, Margaret. You can hear, it's like a tower of death. Margaret absolutely refuses to step foot in the Tower of Doom, and instead finds a smaller house to rest in for the evening. I think Vincent should be okay out there. Yeah, should be fine. Think we can spend the night here. Treat yourself to a beer, Margaret. You've earned it. You've earned it. In the morning, she visits the church. Says a small prayer under her breath, cursing the zombie gods. Then investigates a food warehouse. Vincent literally can't carry anything else. Then she finds a largely empty firehouse, and just when she does find a decent-looking warehouse that might have propane, the world has other plans for Margaret's stump. Oh boy, that's a lot of fucking zombies. Oh, good job, Vincent. Don't really want to mess with that. Even though there could be propane in there, it looked pretty scary. Thankfully, just down the road is another set of large warehouses. Unfortunately, she finds a sad group of survivor zombies, cut down in their prime. They obviously all died at the same time. Turned together, maybe. And Margaret puts them out of their misery, one by one. It leaves her feeling a little torn up inside as she loots their bodies and takes all their delicious... Oh, a machete. One of my favourite weapons. Oh god. Sorry, Holly. Pretty sad, that. Oh god, she's got no arms. Her arms have been eaten off. Oh my god, there's so many of them. It's a whole group. She's been hungry for a couple of days now because she's a little bit... She's put on a little bit of weight alive inside. Yeah, you shouldn't have put a big sign on the door. The zombies knew exactly that you were all in there alive, and they came for their lunch. Just have a couple of fingers of peanut butter, Margaret. Her weight is still going down, so that's good. Let's go put up the tent inside. She puts up a tent in the dead survivor's old base and reads a book on a chair before falling asleep. She thinks she can hear the voices of the survivors whispering around the tent. They're floating dead heads. But there's nothing. There's no one there. Not even a little zombie mouse. In the morning, she heads out again, losing weight slowly with sticky peanut butter fingers, and finds another warehouse. Will this be the place? The home of the propane? The answer is propane torch. Nice! 2 propane torches, that's so good. Hooray! With 2 propane torches ready to light the world on fire, Margaret makes plans for the next adventure. Hey look, that's where we started. We've almost done a circle. So much to explore. I say we head back to here. Looks like there's lots of stuff nearby. Industrial, propane tank, industrial. While she's looking at the map, she hears a faint rumbling in the distance. What the hell is that? Oh. Jets. A plane. There's a plane, Margaret. You haven't seen a plane in a long time. I'm a little bit scared. I'm going to get in the car. It's going to pull a lot of the zombies that way. Wow, what a sound. She thought she'd never see a plane ever again. How bizarre. With the sounds of the fighter jets trailing, Margaret sets off the way she already came, back to those dense warehouses, somewhere safe to work on gorgeous little Vincent, make him shine and purr again. It's not without its problems on the road, of course. Oops! But eventually, she makes it there in good time, down country roads and through towns. Okay, let's take out the stragglers. Have a little snack of some cereal because she is starving, but she is on a diet. Margaret gets set up with Vincent inside the warehouse in this handy little garage. Once again, the motorbike isn't behaving. She explores some of the nearby area, clearing out zombies as she goes, then heads up to bed. There we go, Freddy. You can just sit outside and keep watch for me, okay? She wakes up starving on a foggy morning. There are a few ghouls to clear out in the fog. She finds some hidden gold in a warehouse and wonders what she could buy with it if the world was still functioning. A little further, she listens to the moans of the zombies in the woods, then makes her way into the temporary camp. The place is littered with fridges and cars and tents, but there are no survivors here. After clearing out the shamblers around the old camp, she sits on the floor and ponders whether this might be a decent place to set up shop for a couple of days. She can dismantle all the old fridges, tinker with the cars, and finally give Vincent a bit of TLC. She goes and grabs her buddy from the warehouse. It's a perfect spot. Margaret begins work right away, even though the sun is setting. The artificial light is still working here for some reason, perhaps some far-off emergency generator, and she feels safe behind the fences. With the materials she salvaged from the fridges and ovens, she makes the first repairs to Vincent. She finds one working car in the lot and uses it to block the entrance, then falls asleep under the warm glow of the flashlights. She spends most of day 20 ripping things apart in the lot, collecting sheets, scrap metal and electronics. Salvaging is broken up with periodic panic attacks. Margaret's having a bad day today. Everything's alright, there's no one here. Grab another smoke, you hard-working beauty, Margaret. She keeps working on her mechanic skill, and here's a little overview of Margaret's various skills. Margs works all day and gets Vincent up to a handsome 60% healthiness, but her food supplies are starting to run low. Sort of safe behind this fence, doesn't it, Margaret? But we need to venture out there again. You're running out of food. She can't stay here forever, and she reads before bed, then hits the meat pocket. On the morning of day 21, she has a cheeky finger or two of delicious marinara, makes some notes on her map. Propane here, junkyard where I spent some nights. Then she hits the road, heading north, she thinks. Time to see what the world offers us, Margaret. Out on the road again. She stops by an overgrown field, humming and stinky with delicious wild fruits and vegetables. She hopes. The field is a veritable gold mine of goodies, including some... There we go. Bloody potatoes. Pretty spooky out here, Margaret. What's that then? An onion? Some lovely worms. Put those worms in your pocket, Margaret. Slug. So many bugs. Start a little museum of bugs, Margaret. After collecting food and stuffing her pockets with a worrying number of insects, Margaret heads up the road, when she stumbles across something very, very exciting. Oh, it appears they broke down, but I do believe that's the first RV we've come across. Well aware that this could have been her and her husband. While the RV is in very good condition, she decides that it isn't time to settle down quite yet. Not until she's found some remnant of Lesley, at least, and she has grown quite fond of Vincent. She can't abandon him quite yet, but she is going to keep this RV in mind for the future. Let's not get ahead of ourselves and abandon Vincent. I think for now, we should just keep continuing. So for now, Margaret leaves the RV where it is and continues on. She needs to find somewhere to spend the night. And so she finds these eerie abandoned shacks that might do the job. Doesn't appear to be many zombies around. This will do just fine, she thinks. Margaret stops to take a cold, very cold, disgusting shower in the dregs of whatever water supply the building has, then gets into a dead person's bed to read before sleep. She's just getting used to life on the road, and she doesn't mind sleeping in these beds anymore. Plus, she's pretty sure she left her tent in the warehouse a few miles away. Anyway, nice one, Margaret. There we go. Now we can see. We're not really interested in looting these buildings, so I think we'll probably just leave, Margaret. How about that? Spent the night in a small cabin. Largely uneventful, of course. Margaret ventures out on that dark morning, riding Vincent with confidence. She stumbles across several large empty warehouses in the rotten fields and decides to investigate the little shed at the end of the lot. Wood glue. Fantastic. 'Twas worth it, Margaret. 'Twas worth it. We can use that to repair our tyres, I believe. She forages in the nearby field for food, as she'll need it for the next leg of her adventure. Leek. Nail. Yes, please. Broccoli. After stuffing Vincent's pockets with vegetables and bugs like a madwoman, she kicks the bike to life and heads on. Yeah, these are definitely the kind of places that I like to check out. Look at this enormous building, Margaret. Let's go say hello to the mannequin. Hello. Margaret's going crazy. The mannequin is talking to her. The house is massive and quite nice inside, but Margaret isn't looking for a home. She smokes a cigarette next to Vincent, then starts up the bike to find the next new place to explore. You're back with Vincent now. Your sturdy steed. What's this then? Ekron Elementary School. They might have some nice books in here for us, Margaret. Oh, look at her feet. Oh, I do not like those feet. I do not like how they move. I hear them. This is horrible. Hello? It's clear that some people had tried to hole up in the school. Blankets on the windows, turned over cabinets. The place reeks of death. Margaret goes slowly and steadily, her breath coming hard and fast. She takes out a few of the zombies that still linger inside and investigates the small school library. Well, they're all beginner books, which makes sense because it is an elementary school. These kids aren't geniuses, they are just children. But overall, this place is giving me a really bad feeling, so I'm going to leave. Yeah, I'm going to proceed on foot. I feel like Vincent's going to be a bit too noisy right now. Every time she sees a zombie, she wonders if it's Lesley, and this man looks nothing like Lesley, so it's quite reassuring. Margaret checks out the little postal office to see if they have any magazines, but it's just offices, nothing else of use. The evening light is beginning to fade and Margaret needs to find somewhere to sleep. She returns to Vincent and rides a little further into the town of Ekron. She doesn't have to go far. The Ekron Inn. Well, Margaret, that sounds perfect for us, doesn't it? Investigate. Margaret investigates the Ekron Inn, clearing out room by room, and even though it's not the most welcoming place, she settles down in room number 1. She gets her bugs out of her pockets and spreads them on the mattress, then drinks an entire bottle of bourbon. Margaret loves bugs. They are her only friends. Whoa! She's getting funky with it in the room. She's so drunk she's reading hanging off the bed. She's losing her mind. Looking pretty good though, Margaret, as you do it. Very snazzy. Very snazzy indeed. Well, this is a little bit weird. She's taking her clothes off now, which is not really what my intention was, but that is what she's doing. I just want to see how long her hair is, because her hair was very short. I'm not making her get undressed for any sultry reasons. She's gone mad, basically. Wow, you are wearing so many clothes. Wow, her hair is so long and so grey. I guess it has been a fairly stressful few weeks. Is her hair always this grey? I don't remember. I think it's turned grey because of the zombies. Okay, Margaret, time to put everything back on. Put your clothes back on, Margaret, and then you can go to bed. Okay. Good night, Margaret. Good morning, my little bug woman. Good morning, Vincent. Margaret takes Vincent a little further into Ekron, stopping at this small clinic to collect some medical supplies, a bottle of disinfectant and some antibiotics which might come in handy later, then continues on. A little further and she finds Bazza's tools. Bazza the Undead. God, it sounds like there's a lot of zombies somewhere. The major issue is that Vincent doesn't have much room left in his little pockets. All these tools and useful items are just getting left behind. Bazza? It sounds like there are so many zombies upstairs. I'm just gonna close the door. I don't want to deal with that. Margaret finds a library where folks had been playing board games as the world ended. In the back, she finds a basic mechanics book, huzzah, but quickly comes to the realization that she can't possibly keep all those books in Vincent's pockets. Something has to change. After looting the parlour and finding so many good books she can't carry, Margaret finally makes a difficult decision. Vincent's little pockets just aren't big enough. It's time to upgrade her transportation. So many books. We need more space. She could recover that RV from the field, or she could return to that beautiful yellow school bus. She makes her mind up. School bus here. It's quite a distance away, but I think we can get there. We can take a different route, you know, this way. Stop off with the sledgehammer actually, because we're going to need the sledgehammer to clear the inside of the bus. So that's what we're going to do. Because Vincent's pockets are just stuffed. We just don't have enough room. I'm sorry, Vincent. So, with her mind made up, she sets off towards the bus, but immediately takes a wrong turn, and things really start to hot up. Don't fall off, Vincent, whatever you do, Margaret. Whoa. Don't fall off your bike now, Margaret. Slow and steady. There's a lot of ruined buildings here. Just rode off into the countryside, Margaret. Where are you going? Yeah, I would be panicked too. There's quite a lot of zombies here. Where are you going, Margaret? There's a little camp here and one of the zombies is on fire. It's going to cause a massive fire in the woods. Oh god. Oh my god, we need to get out of here. What are we even doing here, Margaret? We need to go. Get on the bike. We need to get out of here. There's going to be a huge forest fire. Everything's going to burn to the ground. Get out of here, Margaret. You took a wrong turn somewhere and ended up in a crazy neighbourhood. Who even set that fire? Maybe there's a survivor? Maybe it was Lesley? She didn't really have time to think. Eventually, after all that chaos, she makes it back to one of her temporary bases. She pauses for a moment to figure out her next steps. The idea of that fire creeping through the forest is unsettling, but there's nothing she can do about it now. Let's have a cigarette and think about what we're going to do. I think we should spend the night here. You need to look for a watch on one of these zombies because I don't know where you've thrown yours to, Margaret. And then we're going to go and pick up the bus. We're going to pick up the sledgehammer here. We're going to work on the bus, where it is probably. Margaret heads upstairs and finds her old meat pocket still there, along with her plushie, Freddy. She sits on the cold, hard ground and reads about mechanics. She's going to need all the skills she can to get to repair the busted old school bus. A zombie? No. She awakes in the night. She swears she could hear a voice, a distant calling voice. Margaret, Margaret. But there is nothing but deathly silence in the warehouse. She reads her book by torchlight before she calms down enough to get back to sleep. She's just chain-smoking cigarettes. I mean, it does make sense being out here in the wilderness, surrounded by zombies with no hope or human contact for almost 3 weeks. She's starting to lose it. And so the journey back to the bus continues. It's peaceful, but not without its incidents. It's time to leave. Drive through the quiet woods. Oh! That was a big bang. Sorry, Margaret. Crashed into the back of the trailer. It's okay, there was no major injuries there. You gotta be careful. Here it is. Alright, so it doesn't look like much right now, but this is where we're gonna slowly do up our bus here. This is what we're working with inside, by the way. She makes it back to the bus in one piece, a little banged up, but not too hurt. She gets to work clearing out the inside of the bus with the sledgehammer, and in her manic state of smashing stuff up, she accidentally makes a pretty dumb mistake. Oh no, I just destroyed the light switch. Oh no, Margaret. Never fear, she's been reading about electricity and stores a new light she yoinks from the school in the back of the bus. No problem at all. And it looks quite nice. Nice work, Margaret. We might need another one, because it's still a little dark on this end, but we can turn it on and off too. Lovely. Okay. What she can do though, just quickly put down her bugs on her work table. Yes. Her little bug friends. While Margaret is learning how to do DIY here and there, she's still fairly forgetful. She wants to get to bed, but she can't get to bed without level 2 carpentry, and she can't level carpentry without a hammer, and somehow Margaret doesn't have a hammer. She has seen hundreds of them, thousands, and there's not a single one in her possession. So she begins looting the various buildings around the school to find one. Someone in the cupboard, someone in the cupboard. 3 pairs of jeans on the bed. Weird. Hammer, please. Wow. I love it. And an empty gas can. She takes some of her new loot back to the bus, including these fancy shelves. It'll take a while before the bus is truly cozy inside, but we'll get there. It's like you've just moved into a new house. Sit on the floor and drink. A whole bottle of white wine to celebrate, Margaret. Nice. We christened this bus Beatrice. Beatrice the bus and Margaret. 2 old dears. Beatrice definitely seems like an excellent name. So the life of Margaret and Beatrice begins. She sits on the floor inside Beatrice's gut and drinks wine, reads a book, then falls asleep on the musty sofa. Furiously read, Margaret, furiously read until 10 o'clock, and then you can go to sleep. I'm going to sleep on this musty old bus seat. It feels very safe in here. Margaret wakes up to the sounds of jets roaring overhead. She strokes all the bugs on her table to keep her sane, and then prepares for the day. A day of looting on Vincent. She finds a fridge and a nice luggage chest she likes the look of, as well as a bookcase and a loo lamp. Beatrice is starting to look a bit more like home. Very cosy. Okay, let's put up this. Just had an idea for tonight's dinner also, Margaret. Gonna grab this barbecue. We can cook up our leek and broccoli, I think, in this barbecue. We're not going to put the barbecue inside the bus because you'll die. Ah, lovely. She attempts to grill the broccoli and leek on the barbecue, but it is impossible. She stares at the rock-hard vegetables on the grill. Why aren't they burning? Has she gone mad? They taunt and tease her. To distract herself from the invincible vegetables, she decorates Beatrice with some of the things she has found. Very cozy indeed. I'd love to paint the inside of the bus, I think, would be a good decision. It's pretty grey and it kind of stinks in here, needs a good wash. Put down some nice carpet, perhaps. Satisfied with how Beatrice looks inside now, she heads out to loot a few more houses. Someone out there? Oh my good god, that made my... Oh god, I jumped in my chair. I'm sorry, Margaret. Aye, aye, aye. Oh, it's a lovely evening. Sunset colours. Gorgeous. Let's just get back to the bus. Let's get back to Beatrice. Barbecue's still burning. It's impenetrable, invincible. Yeah, they're still in there, not cooking. And then, we need a reading chair, don't we, really? Let's grab Mechanics Volume 2, and we'll read again before bed. On day 26, it's more of the same. She starts with a smoke and then heads out to get her loot on. She stumbles across a birthday party of zombies in one of the gardens and takes her time cleaving their heads open with her trusty crowbar. Then it's time to take some of the strange rage she's been feeling out on the furniture in every goddamn building. She smashes everything to pieces. Margaret is angry and alone. The furniture fills her wrath. Destroy everything in a mad rage, Margaret. Destroy it all. Without smashing things up, she's unable to pick up this delightful single bed, which she wants very much for her new bus, Beatrice. She marks it down on the map so she won't forget where it is. Let's mark this on the map as a lovely single bed. For me, she's going crazy. She calms down for a moment and tries to remember where she is and what she's doing. Oh yes, the bed. She must smash everything up so that she can have a bed. Oh yes. When she returns to the bus after a long day of smashing things, she is dismayed to see that she can't place the curtains down inside Beatrice. She drinks a beer, then tries to sleep on the musty sofa. Shame about the curtains, eh, Margaret? But that's alright. Just drink your beer. Drink your nice, cold beer. Delicious. 8:30, she is ridiculously tired, so let's sleep on our lovely cushion. Turn the light off. She wakes up with more night terrors, but there is nothing in the bus with her. She turns on the light and smokes a cigarette, and eventually she can rest again. On the next morning, she fills up Beatrice with a little bit of Vincent's lifeblood and then turns the engine on. She roars, but it's a groggy sound, like someone who has just woken up after a long nap. The bus will need a little more love, of course. Margaret heads out to continue looting in the fog. Oh my god. Oh, Margaret, made me jump so much. Actually made my heart skip a beat. I feel a bit sick. After that fright, she just grabs this TV and goes right back to the bus. She doesn't want to die in the fog. Margaret puts the TV in the bus and it's starting to look real homey in there. Then it's back to the shed behind the TV house where she finds a generator, which will be useful for a gas station at some point. Beatrice is one hungry girl, Marx reckons. Margaret is now desensitized. She's killed 589 zombies, survived for 27 days and 2 hours. Margaret is now a stone-cold killer, desensitized. She's seen enough. Then she finds a cooking pot, but it's full of stew, so she just... pour the rotten stew all over your feet, Margaret. Gross. Gross, Margaret. Completely gross. She also collects this oven and carries it all the way back to the camp. Margaret strong. Margaret fits the oven in the back of Beatrice and admires the shiny metal. She will cook many delicious meals here, but not until she reads about how to make a basic soup. She reads, she smokes, she sleeps. On day 28, Margaret hops on for one of her last rides on her trusty motorbike Vincent, and the bike grumbles in the cold morning air. She heads out to loot more houses, as this is all that Margaret can do to stifle the panic attacks. She goes building to building, destroying everything, taking out her rage. She can't find her husband, and the world is going quiet with death. Margaret stands in the ruin of one room and stares at a beige chair. It is a beautiful chair, isn't it, Margaret? She leaves it alone, to rot for eternity. Back at the bus, she drops off her loot. Lesley used to play the guitar. She never learned. Now there's no one left to teach her. Unless, of course, she can find her husband somewhere. This whole tin of beans, slurp them down, Margaret. Loot deposited and refueled with beans, sweet beans, Margs makes a plan to move the bus up to another temporary base, so she can make repairs to Beatrice's smashed windows and poorly insides. There are, however, a few things she can do now before they leave, like replace the tyres and pump them with air. Nice, okay. Beatrice is already looking in better shape. She pillages the Bender's electronics van for parts, mostly tyres, brakes and suspension pads. The rotund gentleman on the side of the van looks down at her. She feels like he is watching her intensely. Margaret is not a very good mechanic, and she practically destroys the parts as she tries to remove them, but she is learning. She sits on the floor of Beatrice, it is cold but still somehow cosy, and reads about cooking before bed. Smoke a cigarette, just performing the mundanity of life right now, Margaret she is. Margaret she is. And it's a lovely rainy morning. It's a cold, wet morning on day 29. Check our surroundings, if there's any zombies around. There's one up there. I will take care of that one because in the past I've almost died by one just sneaking up on me, so I'm gonna just go kill this guy, I think. Hi! She had a panic attack again. So even though she's desensitized, she still feels anxious every now and then. It's nothing a sweet little cigarette can't sort out. The brakes and suspension is still pretty dodgy, and a lot of the windows are smashed. The hood is in a bad shape. Now is the question. Here she is, the beauty. She's on the move, Beatrice. Look at her. Gorgeous, gorgeous lady. Hello, Beatrice. You're so pretty. Look at your eyes. Let's go see if she can... Whoa, she turns like a beast. Let's see if we can hook her up to this trailer. Oh, amazing. Now we're talking, Margaret. Look at this incredible setup we got. Beatrice in the trailer. Oh my god, she moves like a slug. Margaret decorates the inside of Beatrice and then tries to finally go and get that lovely single bed she found in a nearby building. Come on, don't break it. Shit. She only broke half of it as well. For God's sake. She goes and collects the generator from that shed, and with that, it's almost time to move on. Ah yes, the magical generator dance. Amazing. Right, let's go drop this off in the trailer, I think. Alright then. I think we're almost set to go, aren't we, Margaret? Beatrice is ready-ish. I mean, she's still pretty smashed up, but we can fix her on the move. Still have to find Lesley. As for Vincent... we best keep him somewhere safe. Let's take him there now. Take him to a garage, I think. Somewhere out of the rain, somewhere he can keep safe. So we'll be back for you, boy, don't worry. Let's leave him in this garage here. We'll be back for you, Vincent. You've been a very sturdy, reliable boy. We'll be back. We won't forget about you. Oh, Vincent, the old reliable, her only friend in the wasteland. Margaret will not forget about you, old boy. Vincent. Vincent in a garage here. She's feeling healthy enough now and safe enough to do some exercise. Then she sits on the floor and reads before bed. Her journey has only just begun. It's day 29, and Margaret is already on the road. Goodbye, Vincent. We will not forget about you, little boy. Whilst we're here, we can probably get some more books from the bookshop now, seeing as we have more room. Margaret stocks up on some books at the bookshop and then adds a new hat to her hat collection. She is obsessed with hats. She must own them all. Little relics of the past, smeared with gore, collected inside Beatrice's belly. She must have hundreds of hats. You need a wash, don't you, Margaret? You're covered in blood. What's this building down here? Let's have a look. Oh, a bunch of them hanging out by the bins. What are they all doing over there? Ah, it's the Gigamart. It'd be good to stock up here, I think, before we leave town. Hello? He looks a little bit like Lesley. But no, it's not him. Margaret's collection of knives on her little table. She's crazy. She stocks up on food at the Gigamart and then continues out of town. Excuse me, folks, Beatrice is coming through. They did indeed hear noisy Beatrice. Here they come. They're coming to get me. Margs hooks up the generator, fuels it with some of Beatrice's juice, then fills the tank completely. The battle bus is ready to roll. It's been a busy day though, so she will stay here for the night. So she reads about cooking and goes to sleep. On day 30, Margaret has her first cooked meal in the back of Beatrice. A delicious ramen noodle stir-fry with herbs. Excellent, Chef Margaret. All that reading has finally paid off. After breakfast, it's time to move and make some new plans. Now, let's think about what we're actually going to try and do. Don't want to go here. We could go back here, and there was a bunch of stuff where we could do some work. But I feel like we need to explore new pastures, so let's go this way. Oh, Beatrice, she's so slow. She misses the wind in her hair a little bit, but it is quite nice to be comfortable. And she does not have to drive far until she finds a new place to explore. Another nameless town littered with loot and the undead. Margaret investigates Rosie's diner, finds a Buzz Lightyear toy, aliens included, and finds a few missing person posters on the next building over. She decides to take a look. Is Lesley here? No sign of Lesley. We appear to have been drawn to Beatrice. Zombie numbers are growing day by day. After clearing a few zombs, she investigates this small building. It looks curious, very curious. Inside, it's pretty nice, a good setup for a base if Margaret was going to settle down, but not for now. She finds an industrial propane tank, nice, as well as this cabinet, which she takes back to Beatrice. A zombie does interrupt, of course. Just put that down quickly, Margaret. Just in time. Let the drawers witness your destruction of these idiots. She puts the new drawers in the car and then drives Beatrice down to the house to collect the propane. I suppose she has seen better days. She's a little dirty and she's all smashed up. We're going to make you great again, Beatrice. Oh, almost missed the turning. She'll also stay the night here because it feels relatively safe and peaceful on the enclosed driveway. The inside of Beatrice is starting to look real snug. Just imagine it when it's full of delicious loot and hats. Of course, Margaret's hat collection. She washes in the building sink and then heads out. It's only 5 PM and she has a little bit of daylight to loot some more buildings. Oh my god, that zombie made me jump. Whoa. She just slalomed right in there. Hello? Yeah, hello. Okay, well, we looted one single building, but that zombie made Margaret very scared, so we're just going to go back. Drop off some of the goodies we found, I think. Any hats? No hats. Margaret loves hats. Oh, yes, lovely. Starting to look like a bit of a jungle in here now, isn't it, Margaret? With your flowers. Where can I put this cactus? She returns to the bus, a little shaken, and puts everything away. Beatrice is coming alive. Unfortunately... Oh, well, I guess we're just going to leave it on the floor then. She's going to spike her feet every time she walks over it. At the end of day 30, Margaret feels cozy in Beatrice, and she reads before bed, surrounded by plants and hats. Starting to look a lot more cozy in here, I'd have to say. She wakes up nice and early on day 31 and cooks some breakfast. She gets a little too engrossed in her book, and cue cooking panic in 3, 2, 1. Oh. Ooh, she almost burned it in a panic. It's okay. Eat half of it now. Right, how are we going to get Beatrice out of here then? Just a casual 2 or 3, 6, 7, 8, 9 point turn. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, Yeah. And then round like this. Yeah. Yeah, and then round like this. Okay. Margaret's really glad there isn't anyone watching. Okay. Nice, you did it. Nice one, Margaret. Excellent driving. A little bit stuck on the trees. Yeah. Just a little bit stuck. Okay. Yep. And then just... Margaret drives Beatrice through town and stops on the other side. She's spotted a hunting shop she wants to check out, but who knows what other treasures the town might be hiding. Parking up Beatrice, she grabs her crowbar and starts cleaving some heads. Another crazy summer storm. It's a mime. Hello, sir. Dead immediately. You also have a hat, so I'm going to just grab that quickly. Yep. Here's the spiky boy coming in. Don't get too close. After the bloodshed, she searches the bodies for hats, of course, and then walks slowly into town. It's clear this little town has lasted for a while after the apocalypse. There are many posters, barricades, and general signs of life, but anyone who was alive here is now long gone, and she hopes that doesn't include Lesley. Putting off morbid thought, she goes into boring books. It's almost untouched inside, and it smells lovely, of old books, of old leather. She stands for a while in the peaceful quiet. I want to stay in here just a bit longer. Soak in the peace of this building. Okay. Margaret then pops back to Beatrice for lunch. Can I leave the oven on? Oh, good God, I did. Careful, Margaret, you're going to blow up. Beatrice, but if you leave the oven on... Whoa, we have so many books. You're going to get so smart, Margaret. To add to our hat collection. Lovely. Refueled, restocked, ready to take on the world, Margaret heads out again and finds some truly bizarre little places in this strange town. Whoa. Hello, gang. Okay, then. XX Cooties. Sensual Antiques. Oh, goodness me. Okay. Oh. Okay, then. This is giving Margaret some strange feelings. No. Whoa, she almost got distracted. Snuck up on. It's making Margaret feel kind of funny inside. The thought of that kind of stuff in the apocalypse has slightly waned. Might be something to do with all of the walking fleshy monsters wandering around. Oh shit, talking of fleshy monsters. Here they are. Margaret feels a little strange, but it's nothing a few smashed zombie skulls and some pretty hats can't sort out. Anybody got any hats for me? Anybody got any hats? Come on, you pathetic little weasels. Slightly more. Ah, a British flag. Yes. What's all this then on the table? Is that a rubber ducky? Can I pick that up? Are those the swords from Halo? I think they are. Cookies on the pool table, that is. And the mug and the kettle, that is it. I guess they had other thoughts. The hell's that? Murder ride. See if there's a back way in. Oh, Jesus, okay, that one did actually make me jump. God, she's going through it right now. Have a cigarette, have a cigarette, have a cigarette. Rather garish inside, isn't it? Was spotted here. Take care of these guys. In the rain. My hands are slipping on the crowbar. God save us. Is that a poster for Kill Bill? On the outside of the church. What kind of weird cult set up here? Oh, okay. Well, it's rather horrible, isn't it? Who's this crazy little guy overseeing the ceremony? Who are you? Little duck man. This is making Margaret feel rather unsettled. Let's keep moving. Obviously some people set up in here after the apocalypse. Survived here for a little bit. Come on, Margaret. You got this. Let's have a delicious chocolate chip cookie in the rain. Alive inside. Hello? Hello? They were alive once, but they seem pretty dead now. Oh god. Sorry, lads. After a long day of looting, Margaret is exhausted. The town has made her feel odd, feels alive, like there are remnants of her past lives here, behind every door, some of it untouched. She goes back to Beatrice, where she feels safe and comfortable. Your new home, Margaret. Look how lovely it is inside. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. She falls asleep, but wakes up very early in the morning with another night terror. Sweaty palms, gnawing fear, the sound of zombies. Snuffling around outside in the rain, she can't quite see them through the condensated windows. After resting away the fear, she heads out on the soggy morning of day 32. She admires some guitars through a window, then walks over to the hunting shop. Everything else is superfluous. Superfluous. Okay, Margaret, stop mumbling to yourself. Kill these zombies. Let's have a look. Oh my god. First time. That is horrible. Margaret prizes open the door with her trusty crowbar and then finds the lost city of gold. So much ammo, gear, everything she needs to turn up the heat on her zombie-killing escapades. She puts all the gear from the hunting shop into the trailer, then heads out again. She investigates the police station first, which is mostly empty except for this sad zombie in a prison cell. Turned into a zombie in his prison cell. I suppose there are worse places to be. At least you can never hurt anyone. Margaret can't break into the armory because she doesn't have her sledgehammer. Across the lot are a few more buildings. And a lot more zombies. Take care of a few of these guys, I reckon. Oh my god, I was distracted. Oh my god. Focus up, Margaret. Yeah, of course she's having a panic attack. I almost had a bloody panic attack. And breathe. She stands still over the dead bodies, shaking. It's the most she's ever killed in one go. Is she exhausted, tired, angry? No. Margaret just wants to find some lovely hats. Any hats? Anybody got any hats? Still not quite done with the day, and pushing it just a little further, she checks out the fire station. It is teeming with zombies. The building seems to shake with their guttural growling. Okay. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Oh my god, 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 okay. Oh my god. That is the most dangerous situation Margaret has found herself in so far. She decides to just take a rest and check out these small shacks with a truck outside. Both of the shacks are absolutely full of tools and useful gear, and the car out front is in amazing condition. After looting and resting in the process, she goes back to the fire station, but it's still teeming with the undead. Oh, Jesus. You know what? Margaret's had enough for today. She's not quitting. She's just calling it a day. She's going to go home, she's going to make some noodles, she's going to sit in her lovely bus, and she's not going to die today. She hotwires the car, drives it back to Beatrice, and settles down for the evening after a stressful day. Good night, Margaret. On day 33, Margaret takes the truck out to check if she's missed anything in this small, strange town. There isn't much left, just a few shambling zombies. No other shops or anything else she wants to check out. She makes a small note on the map about the town, and then gets ready to hit the road again. Looted most of the town. Few buildings left over. Car in good condition. Let's see what the world has to offer us in this direction. She finds a small dirt track a bit far up the road, but this is a no-go for Beatrice. Better with Vincent, probably. No. That's going to be a nightmare to drive down in Beatrice, I think. Lots of little trees and things. She drives for an awfully long time along this deserted highway. It is eerily quiet. Eventually she reaches a rest area. She clears the area of zombies one skull at a time and then checks out the various buildings, including a handy auto shop with some propane inside. They are really going to town on that guy, eating his guts. Any hats on you, little boys? No. Rotten pizza everywhere. It stinks in here. Wow. Stocked auto shop with a propane tank and a propane torch. Well, I think we've just found where we're going to work on Beatrice for the next couple of days. There are a few zombies she needs to clear out before she can begin working on Beatrice. That includes this motel. She checks every single door. She does, of course, search for hats as well. Collect all the hats, Margaret. Keep your eyes peeled for hats on the corpses of the dead, Margaret. Hats, hats. Anybody got any hats? It's been a busy day, and Margaret reads before bed and falls asleep. Home sweet bus. Let's read the rest of our book until about 10 o'clock, I think. She does wake in the night from another terror. Don't worry though, she eats a candy cane and smokes a cigarette, just like little 8-year-old me on Christmas Eve. After resting, she cooks breakfast, noodles, and takes Beatrice up to the auto shop. First, she checks out Beatrice's insides. The engine and gas tank need work in particular, and begins dismantling metal furniture to get sheets and bars. She spends most of the day doing this. It's peaceful, honest work. She also takes a few parts from this van as it's in pretty good nick. She piles everything onto the floor and smokes a cig. Nice one, Margaret. Let's put in this new windshield. Try again, Margaret. Nice. New windshield in there. I heard some rustling. Be back here? Yeah, there is. Hi. Disgusting. All this metalworking is thirsty work, so Margaret goes and gets some water from the motel. Don't drink from the toilet. Might be able to wash in the toilet though. She also washes herself and some clothes, and her crowbar. Her crusty, trusty crowbar. She's underweight again. Time to eat all of this mac and cheese. And we read before bed. Very relaxing few days with Margaret here. Oh, lovely night terror. What's there to be afraid of? You're perfectly safe in your cozy little nest, Margaret. Look at it. So cozy. Lovely little nest. Day 34 is much like the last for Margaret. She disassembles these large bins, these fridges, and takes all the metal back to make more repairs to Beatrice. She is really coming along nicely. After a long day's work, we're finally ready to hit the road again. I think our work here is done, so let's get a move on, whilst it's still a little bit light. Small rest area, workshop here, mostly looters. Safe haven though. Before they leave though, Margaret refills Beatrice with more gas because she's just repaired the gas tank. With a full tank, they venture on, and Beatrice is looking gorgeous. Oh, she's looking fantastic. All she needs now is us to fix our engine. But look at her. Gorgeous Beatrice. She drives and drives along the empty highway until she sees a sign. Raven Creek. Okay. Okay then. Right. Margaret has found a checkpoint on the edge of Raven Creek, one of the largest cities in Knox County. The area is teeming with zombies, military zombies, doctors, and ordinary, very dead citizens. It reeks of death. The sound of flies is like an orchestra. She sneaks in. She does not want to awake the horde further up the road. These army tents are full of weapons and ammo, leftovers from the old world. She can stock up here with everything she needs, including a new backpack and boots. Oh my god. Got a ghillie suit on. It's early evening though, and Margaret wants to take it slowly. The next few days will be dedicated to clearing the outpost, looting it, and then making their way deeper into Raven Creek. Maybe this is where Lesley is holding out? We'll have to wait and see. Eat this butter. Try and get you fat. Tomorrow, we get out the shotgun and we blast these fools, I think is the plan. On day 36, Margaret prepares for the day by placing some underwear on her doll. What else should one do before blasting zombies to death? Lovely. Yes, dress up. Okay. Then heading out with her shotgun in the foggy morning, walking slowly towards the checkpoint. It's not the optimal morning for doing this kind of work, but let's take it easy then, I think, for now, actually. Rather than rush into her death, Margaret takes it very slowly, sneaking into the compound with her machete. She investigates a few of the tents, and then they hear her. It's time to start shooting, Margaret. Kill them all. Oh shit. Okay, they saw me. Oh my god. That's a lot of zombies. Okay. Still quite a lot of them left. Nice. Walk through the destruction smoking a cigarette. Excellent work, Margaret. Excellent work. I see a hat. Margaret walks through the path of decimated zombies, collecting their hats. She goes back to Beatrice and sinks 4 cans of fizzy pop, then walks into the now mostly cleared military checkpoint. There are a few stragglers, but Margaret has killed the majority of the undead in the area. This leaves her free to loot the remaining tents, and the loot is good. Very good. Any good loot? Oh my goodness. It's enough to stock her weapon arsenal for some time to come. She raids the military kitchen for some food, which she needs desperately, and dodges zombies while she goes. Eventually she returns to Beatrice with her newfound military loot. That looks so silly, but I kinda like it. And the hats. Don't forget about the hats. Trophies of the zombies we've killed, Margaret. Wow, what a day. You've earned yourself a beer. Most definitely. Have a swig of that, my darling Margaret. How are your bugs doing? Yeah, they seem to be just fine, enjoying their time on your little desk. She reads in her cozy, hat-filled Beatrice stood over her collection of bugs, and then falls asleep. Peacefully. First things first, on day 37, Margaret drives Beatrice into the checkpoint, although she still needs to figure out how to get her through the other side. While she figures this out, she rummages through some nearby tents to pick up the remaining loot, and finds a journal in one of the desks. They're coming. There are hundreds of them. We will all die here. Okay, very cheery stuff. Look at this truck. Although the truck is a beauty, she doesn't start, so Margaret leaves it where it is. She investigates the eerie medical tents, thick with the stench of old chemicals and rotting bodies, and checks out the gates on the other side of the compound. They are blocked and won't open. There are also dozens of zombies shambling around the fence. She'll need to clear them before they progress, so she grabs her rifle with the 8x scope on, and goes to town from the safety of the Walls boardwalk. The rifle bullets echo down the dead highway. Margaret spends the next few hours on that sunny day blasting zombies' heads from a distance. It's a lot of fun, and she feels powerful, up there on the wall, unreachable, invincible. We have to hope that this power doesn't go to her head. Lovely stuff, Margaret. Oh my god, Margaret. So satisfying. After a long day of hunting, she returns to the bus, stroking her new favourite toy all the way back. She drives Beatrice up to the closed gate and gets out the sledgehammer to smash down the walls. And so the entrance to Raven Creek is opened. What will the city hold for her? Lesley? Other survivors who might have news about her missing husband? Margaret really has no idea. Maybe some lovely hats. She's a little sleepy. Been a long day, her eyes and arms are sore from shooting so many zombies. So, let's just relax for the evening. Again, you probably deserve a beer. I don't actually know if we have any left though. You got half a bottle of... Just drink that whole bottle of red wine actually, I think, Margaret. Delicious. Killed a lot of things today, Margaret. And drink to forget. She's inebriated. Can you read drunk? Of course you can. Okay. Good night, Margaret. She is woken up with a slight pain in her neck because she's sleeping on this musty old sofa. On day 38, Margaret takes Beatrice up the ruined road, stopping to investigate a couple of worthless vehicles. A little further up the road, and the dead gather, the shambling citizens of Raven Creek. She takes care of them and continues progressing. She does examine the bodies for hats, even if she might miss one now and then. Any hats? A hat. You almost missed it, didn't you, Margaret? Alright, let's keep on. Margaret clears out the zombies on the road and looks ahead. There appears to be a large, looming tunnel. And tunnels are not a pleasant place to be in a zombie apocalypse, as we're about to find out. Looks a little spooky. Yeah, this does not bode well. Keep out. I can hear zombies. The tunnel echoes with the sounds of the dead. A chilly wind blows through. The death smells different here, less pungent, more preserved. But Margaret can't see any of the zombies. Where are they? Think they broke down the door on this side? Yeah, they did. It's only 3 of them. She can still hear zombies, and she enters the service tunnel slowly. It is very, very cold. She pries open another door and goes a little deeper. This is very spooky. Sounds like there might be a few zombies behind that door. I don't fancy that. The tunnel is mostly empty. She returns to the main area. More banging comes from the other side, but she ignores it for now. Margaret knocks down the fence and barricades with a sledgehammer to clear a path for Beatrice. As she does so, she hears the door collapse behind her. Oh shit. Okay, quite a lot of them. Okay. After killing the zombies that try to ambush her, she continues making light work of the barricades to squeeze Beatrice through. Reckon I can squeeze Beatrice through that hole? Make it a bit bigger, shouldn't we, probably? Hello. I can sledgehammer you to death. Oh my god. That's very slow, but quite satisfying. She does indeed squeeze the bus through the gap, but then encounters another roadblock ahead. The tunnel is packed with debris, old tents, fences, and, of course, the undead. Oh my god, there's just more pouring out of the side tunnels. I'm assuming they tried to hide in there, perhaps. Seems quiet enough. They can hear me through the walls. They keep coming up behind me. Must have been packed in there. Margaret's feeling a bit sleepy, and the situation is fairly tense. Horrible out there, isn't it? Oh, look at all of her hats. More to be added soon. It's very, very dark in here with no light from outside. Margaret sleeps with the sound of echoing footsteps and gurgling zombies outside, but doesn't wake up from a night terror this time. Raining, apparently, even though we are in a tunnel, but what are you going to do? Perhaps the ceiling is leaking, although that seems kind of unlikely. She ventures out once again into the dead tunnel, slowly creeping into the checkpoint. There is no cure. Don't trust that. Someone... Jim? Don't trust Jim? What did Jim do? Poor Jim. There's another military area and it's stocked with more guns and ammo, but Margaret can hear so many zombies growling somewhere. Where are they? It's very unnerving. Margs also finds this sweet helmet mask thing in one of the cabinets, and then heads back to the bus quick to grab her sledge to clear the road for Beatrice. Okay, should be a little bit clearer now to take Beatrice just further up the... Oh, Jesus. Where did they come from? Oh my god, what is that thing? What is that? What is that? Silent Hill closer set. Maybe someone was at Comic-Con when the outbreak broke out. Okay, let's take Beatrice further in. Margaret and Beatrice head towards the other end of the tunnel and reach yet another barricade. More zombies pour from the side tunnels. Dozens of them. Oh god. Oh god. Oh my god, there's a lot of them in there. Okay. Let's fight them out in the pouring rain. Fight them in the storm, Margaret. Oh god. Look at the rabbit head in the rain. Horrible. Okay. Let's clear out this tunnel then. Let's get their attention. Yep. Come on. Come join me in the rain, gang. Come on, gang. Come with me. After the bloodshed, Margaret returns to the warm insides of Beatrice, has a scrumptious peanut stir-fry, and puts a hat in her plant. Put that hat in the tree. Nice, lovely. Before leaving the tunnel towards Raven Creek, she's curious about where all the zombies are coming from, so she ventures into one of the side tunnels. What were they all doing in there? Just so curious. Not that curious. Curiosity literally killed the cat / Margaret, so. She destroys the remaining barricades and drives into the rain. The road ahead is cluttered with cars. It poses a problem to Beatrice and her big bus butt. Appears to be a fair amount of traffic on either side of the road. Yeah, it's going to be a real pain in the arse to get Beatrice through here. Times like this, they really wish we had Vincent still. Let's just proceed on foot for now. If we had another vehicle, we could probably use it to tow some of these scraps out of the way. See if any of these cars work. Margaret checks if any of the cars are in a usable state, but they're mostly ruined. It's going to be a nightmare getting Beatrice through the wrecks. She doesn't have enough propane to scrap the cars with her welding tools, and no other vehicle to move the wrecks out of the way. She still wants to investigate Raven Creek though, because what if there are survivors there? What if Lesley is just waiting for her around the corner with a cup of tea and a lovely pair of underpants? I think we might have to proceed on foot, just onto the outskirts of the town, I think. There's no way that we're getting Beatrice through all of those blockades. There's no way. There's no way, unfortunately. So it is decided. On day 40, Margaret enters Raven Creek on foot, as a fierce summer storm rages overhead. We'll see you soon, Beatrice. We're just going to have a little look into this city, to this town, and see if there's any survivors here. We won't go too far without you, don't worry. Just going to have a little look. She walks slowly into the city, crowbar raised above her head, step by step between the guard towers. Whoa. Proceed with extreme caution. There's 4 of them there. If we walk past and there's more down here, which obviously there is, we'll be surrounded. So we're literally going to play at 1 mile an hour. Margaret takes her time. It's the only way to survive. See? Always worth waiting. After clearing the zombie, she pries open a door and climbs one of the towers to get a better view over the city. Oh, Jesus. God, that guy has an axe buried in his head. Tire iron axe. Okay, there's a food market down there. Some other large buildings. Again, she moves silently through the dead city. Inside this building, she finds another military cache with guns and ammo. When she ventures back outside, the dead smell her, and she has to duck and weave between the buildings. Eventually, she kills the last one and can inch further towards her first target, the food market. Yeah. Brutal battle. Have a little drink some sugar. I think it's pretty clear from all the evidence that there are no survivors here. More zombies pile towards her. Okay. Once again, she needs to lead them through the barricades, watching as they flop over the sandbags. After cleaving through them with her crowbar, she sits on the floor and pops some pills and reconsiders her situation. Just sit on the ground here and really consider whether this is worth venturing any further. We do have a quest after all. It doesn't seem like this is the kind of place where Lesley is going to be holding out. What do you reckon? Go a little further? Just go just a little further. She does want to go further. Food supplies are a little low in Beatrice, and this food market is too good an opportunity to pass up. Margaret sneaks down the street and through the front door. She can hear so many zombies, but she can't see them. The whole city is groaning. She clears out the food market and then watches as a zombie makes a manic move. She just jumped out of a 2nd floor window, 3rd floor window to try and kill me. Then it's time to retreat. Slowness and patience are key to survival. On the way back to Beatrice, Margaret once again considers her options. We have a lot more food supplies in hand, so what's my reasoning? I want to explore it. It looks cool, but there's going to be a lot of zombie killing, and I would love to have the safety of Beatrice behind my back. Alternatively, we somehow wait. We can salvage these. We just need a bunch of propane to clear the path. Could be worth it. It would give us lots of building materials too. Hard to say, really. Rather than make any big, rash decisions, Margaret goes home and puts some new carpet down in Beatrice instead. Making the floor look lovely. Lovely, Margaret, lovely. Look, snails on the book. Silly boy, stay where you are. Do not move, not slime on my book. On day 41, she checks her propane supplies. She hardly has any left. Nowhere near what she needs to salvage all the wrecks. That essentially makes her mind up for her. I think we wait for Raven Creek until we have more propane to clear the tracks, because we literally can't get through. I mean, we could unhook the trailer from Beatrice, pull all of the wrecks out of the way, and then drive in. I mean, we could continue on foot. No, we shall continue our journey on the hunt for Lesley. It is very, very unlikely he's in Raven Creek, so let's just keep moving. Keep exploring. The world is our oyster. Why would we stay in this horrible place? So Margaret and Beatrice hit the road again on another adventure. She has a panic attack behind the wheel, but eats a handful of sugar and smokes a cigarette to calm her nerves. Then she's filled with more resolve. We came so far for so little, Margaret. That's okay. Quite obvious there are no survivors here. The entire place is overrun. So let's just keep moving. On the hunt for Lesley. He's got to be out there somewhere, surely. Not a single soul out here, Margaret. You are entirely alone. The fog is closing around you. She stops before she goes any further and makes a couple of notes on her map, just to keep things straight in her mind. The road to Ravens Creek. Blocks with wrecked cheers, need more propane. Separate vehicle might be good. Could take Vincent in there, for example. That seems like a place we should revisit with Vincent, really. Once again, it doesn't take her too long to find somewhere else to explore, like this small half-burned rural church on the outskirts of another town. She investigates, but the place is empty and ruined, and it fills her with sadness. She takes Beatrice into the town, but there are a fair few zombies gathering around her. Margaret gets out her crowbar. It's head-smashing time again. Once it's clear, she gets to looting, and has this pretty severe near-miss outside a garage. It was worth it, though, because she does find a propane tank. Whoa, and then heads back to the bush. Really good find. Really good find. Even makes me consider going back to Ravens Creek, but I'm not quite yet. Oh, lovely, we can put that up. Oh, and it does cover the window. Okay, now that's what we have to keep in mind. More church curtains, and we can make it very cozy in here. It's only lunchtime though, so Margaret heads out again to see what else she can find in the town. It's relatively peaceful, so she closes the door and takes a bath and washes her clothes. She's also pretty stinky. It's been a long time since she's had the safety of a nice, freezing cold, mosquito-infected bath. So, I believe I can. Yeah, thank you for that kind commenter that said I can take propane out. Returning home with propane, she settles down in the back of the bus to read some magazines. It grows dark outside and she grows sleepy, so she falls asleep on her little musty bus sofa. I'll just break the fourth wall here briefly to let you know that there is no game sound for the next 4 to 5 days. That's okay, they're pretty intense days with or without sound, as you'll see. I swapped headsets and forgot to change the recording output on OBS. Classic. Oh, and if you're enjoying it so far, please subscribe. Thank you, eggs. Margaret heads out on day 42 to search for goodies in the woodies. She finds what you might expect, like more bugs and slugs. Poisonous berries, no thank you. More bugs. She assumes she's figured out which are the poisonous berries and which ones aren't, and takes the plunge by shoving a fistful into her mouth. Yeah, so these are fine. Right, Margaret? Well, let's hope so. She just ate them. Please don't be poisonous. Please don't till I've just killed her. If she's dead because I ate those berries, I'm going to be mad. A termite. That actually might be quite delicious. A delicacy in some regions. Tastes like marshmallow or sugar or something. I can't remember exactly. Never had them myself. What's that? Ginger root? And we have to put the bugs on the table, of course. Margaret plays with her bugs a bit, scoffs down some sardines, then heads back out to explore a little more. Don't trust Jim. Again. Everyone hates Jim in this town. Poor Jim. Most of the town is dead and useless. Hair shops, laundromats, that kind of thing. But she does spot something useful just a little further ahead. Ah, that's a garage over there. Good stuff. There are a few zombies here, but you can't hear me squishing their heads. So let's just pretend that Margaret has put some earplugs in because she was having a bit of a headache. Yeah, that's what's going on. Poor Margaret. Little whispers, Margaret, little whispers. Hello, zombies, my name is Margaret, hello. Come and eat me, my name is Margaret. Pancakes, 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 pancakes. I want pancakes, pancakes, pancakes. Give me pancakes. Sorry, sir. You are the pancake. Yes, as you can tell, Margaret is going a little bit loopy. Her head aches, her ears ache, her body aches, and now she's going crazy. She investigates some of the buildings, including the garage. Of course, there is nothing useful in the auto shop, but she'll still stop here for the night. Let's have a tuna and mushroom stir-fry. That already sounds really good. But we can make it a bit more fun with some olive oil, a little bit of soy sauce, some wild garlic, and just chuck some more random stuff in there as well, I think. While the stir-fry cooks, she decorates the bus. We'll put all the hats in the tree, like it's a Christmas decoration. It's our Christmas tree. Christmas tree of hats. 62 hunger. This is going to make you super full, Margaret. You're going to pop. You're going to burst. 3 till 9:30 and go to sleep. Good night, Margaret. Your bugs are going to crawl over you whilst you're sleeping. On your stomach, in your ears, in your mouth. Good night. Margaret ventures out on day 43 to investigate the food market for more supplies and ends up impersonating the zombies inside. Blah, 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 blah. Shut up. Sure, you're a lovely man. Mint candy. Piece of candy. Oh my goodness, so much stuff. Instant popcorn. The food market is absolutely stocked with goodies, and Margs can't resist stuffing her face with candy. She feels like a child. A gore-splattered, zombie-killing, hat-collecting, slightly insane child. In the back room of the food market, which is some kind of office, she finds a note on a desk. Little note here, found in the desk. Susan isn't in the office today. Said she'd come down with a bad cold. Everything's so slow here today. Where is everyone? Well, I assume they're all dead. Margaret spends some time working on the 2 military trucks to improve her mechanics skill. They're both in good condition, but Margaret has Beatrice and she doesn't need either of them. She rips them apart for sweet, sweet experience. She's also looking for the mechanics book, which she promptly finds, and then ventures a little further into town towards this huge police station. Wonder if there's a bookshop in this town. I would really like the mechanics book to improve our... Oh my god, there's a bookshop literally right there. That is crazy. Okay, well, let's go check out that then. Can't believe that. So silly. Have a little lollipop, Margaret. Crouch walking your way to the bookshop. There she is. Has to be a hardware shop here somewhere. Police station. Huge police station. Could be worth checking out. The station is totally trashed inside, and the moans of zombies echo around. But Margaret can't hear, of course, because she's still got her earplugs in. Margaret searches throughout the building for the armory, but when she finds it, she can't get into it, because she doesn't have her sledgehammer with her. Defeated by the metal bars, she checks out some of the desks for spare cigarettes, and finds another note. Another note. It's over. 40 officers killed in action, 7 more missing in action. No news from headquarters or the feds. It's over. We're all doomed. Just looking for cigarettes. Not that cheery news, thank you. It's 7 PM, so Margaret leaves the station. She might be back for the armory another time, and heads back to Beatrice for a late dinner. Canned chili, mushroom and canned sardine stir fry. Does that sound delicious or does it sound disgusting? It's honestly kind of hard to tell. Oh, Margaret is feeling a little depressed. This food will cheer you up. The canned chili, mushroom and canned sardine stir fry that you can't pronounce or say properly. This is going to make you feel like $1 million. You just wait. Oh, she's still feeling a little sad. You know what that means, Margaret? It means you can get drunk. Very, very drunk. To celebrate... How many days is it now? 1 month and 14 days. 1.5 months. Incredible stuff. 44 days. I think this won't actually be the 44th day because I'm awful. Absolutely atrocious at keeping count. But let's get yourself a lovely bottle of white wine. Cold. Straight from Beatrice's fridge. And drink the entire bottle. And then you're going to drunkenly read about mechanics after that. Peacefully read, my little Margaret. She's still feeling a little sad, even though she just drank the entire bottle of white wine. White wine always makes me feel very good. Oh my god, it's 10 o'clock. No wonder you're tired. I didn't realise that's how late it was. Go to bed. Put your book on top of the bugs. They seem to just slime straight through it. Or hats, of course. I really like this one, so this one's going to get pride of place, I think. Hanging on the edge of the television. On day 44, Margaret sets off again, on the hunt for more propane primarily, and she doesn't go far until she finds the next intriguing target. Some sort of military compound. Oh, well, we got instantly distracted, but this looks like a military checkpoint. She parks up at the gas station just north of the target and picks up some goodies from inside, as well as checks out the garages out back. Oh my god, don't trust that Jim. God, everyone really hates Jim. Margaret is clearly losing her mind a little bit as she's dealing with some invisible walls and missing doors. Rather than give in to her hallucinations, she just walks away. Let me in! Yes, it's an old military compound, likely set up to house soldiers during the outbreak. It's teeming with the undead, and there's random furniture dotted around. Most of the rooms are empty. She stands in the courtyard and shouts, "Hey, it's me, Margaret Stump, come eat my crowbar," and the undead stumble out. She deals with them promptly, and she is quite tuckered out after all that. Lovely. Sit in the car park, drink a cold soup. Rest your weary bones, Margaret. In a back room, she finds a note which gives a hint of what the building once was. Another notebook. Another note here. Dear Frank, if you find this letter, we hid here for a while. The army station on the bottom floor of the hotel have left. Only one truck is left. We're running out of food. I don't want to die in this cupboard. Keeping these, collecting these, Margaret. Start a museum one day. Then she explores a little further, hopeful that she might find some evidence of Lesley somewhere inside. Unfortunately, the building is ruined. Any survivors here are long gone, or long dead. She hits the road again. Seems like something pretty bad happened in this building. They must have been held out here, and then some of the army was stationed nearby, and they all died horribly, it seems. Right, what's this? Are they trying to blow the place up? Was he trying to protect himself? Didn't work, whatever the case was. Oh. It's a little busy. Massive hospital. Margaret does not trust. Help us. Could be survivors here though, but there's a hell of a lot of zombies. Oh my god. Whatever this town is, it's full of zombies. But she has to check that building, just in case there's a survivor there who might know about Lesley. Margaret, however, makes a terrible mistake. She drives right into the middle of danger. She hates driving down these small, dead-end tracks. Because they are indeed usually dead ends. Oh man. You fight them off, Margaret. Hold your ground. Beatrice might be a beautiful bus, but she does not do well in dead ends. Margaret is quickly surrounded by zombies, and she needs to make a quick escape down the side of a building. The zombies flop over the fences, and Margaret is getting tired from all this ducking and weaving. Even worse, all her firearms in the trailer attached to Beatrice. That French tactic always scares me. She does eventually weave her way back to the bus, losing some of the Zeds in the woods. Margaret grabs her shotgun. Please, Margaret, that's not a good idea. Not at all. No, don't do it. Oh god. She fired the gun. Zombies pour in from every direction. It gets real hot. Oh boy. Okay. Oh my god, okay. Okay. Oh my god, okay. Okay. Stay calm, Margaret, stay calm. Stay calm. Oh my god, okay. I think we honestly just try and get out of here. Oh, first time start from Beatrice. First time start from Beatrice. Carefully navigate the trailer up the road. Carefully reverse. That's it, Beatrice. That's it. Nice and calm. Calmly does it. No, not like that. Margaret and Beatrice are not having fun. Oh my god. Okay. Okay, Beatrice. Okay. Stay calm, girl. Stay calm. Just need to get you turned around. That's it. Okay. Get you turned around nice and slow. Oh boy. Okay. Right, we're getting out of here. Get me the hell out of here. It's okay, Margaret. Calm. Ooh, okay. Alright then. If Lesley was on that survivor building and he almost got me killed like that, then... Wow. Okay. First of all, have a goddamn cigarette. That was so intense. Such an intense situation. You okay? I think she's okay. Am I okay? God, I don't know. She sits for a little while and waits for the shakes to go down. That was too close. Beatrice almost got chewed up and spat out by a zombie horde. One breakdown there and she was done for. Good job, Beatrice. Good goddamn job. You're the best bus in Kentucky. Margaret drinks a beer, then gives the wall of Beatrice a little kiss. Without her, Margaret would be dead. She falls asleep. On day 45, it's a day of rest and relaxation. Not only did she almost die yesterday, she's also underweight. She needs to do nothing and eat lots. A perfect day, really. First, she makes an absolutely massive stew and sinks it all in one big gulp. After eating, she wanders out into the peaceful woods and searches for berries and other goodies. Fresh food like mushrooms should get her nice and plump again. Margaret Plump. That's going to be great for your stew later, Margaret. Delicious carrot stew. Another slug to add to your collection, of course. It starts to rain, so she leaves the stew pot outside to collect some water. Then she plays with her bugs. Even if she doesn't want to, she must. Put our lovely jockey helmet down. We simply have to make you fat. Let's put some more bugs on our table as well. Another slug. Well, Margaret doesn't seem to be enjoying the bug play very much. But Margaret, you're not in charge, are you? I am. You're crazy god. I am in charge. And you will play with those bugs. If I make you. And then she eats a TV dinner. It's packed full of calories. Exactly what she needs. Margaret, it looks delectable. Look, it comes in a little tray and everything. Tell me you haven't missed eating her. Okay, so now that was a calorific meal. I see. So we need stuff that was got more calories. Like... Margaret reads for most of the day, then gets the pot from outside to make some delicious rainwater pasta, a stump delicacy enjoyed by her and husband many, many times on their adventures. She prepares the pasta and feels a sudden overwhelming feeling of loss. Where is her husband? Where is he? A tear trickles down her cheek and falls into the pasta water. Delicious. Now she's putting on weight again after eating literally 10 kilograms of pasta. We're just going to chill out in here. Actually, I need to check Beatrice's battery and also see how beaten up she got in that escape. She's okay. Loads of battery left. Tyres, wheels are not bad, but we've got Fix-A-Flat that we can repair it with. So, all good. All dandy, actually. Okay, let's read. Your cosy little home, Margaret. Cool. 9:30 seems like a very reasonable time to go to bed. On day 46, she grabs more scrumptious rainwater from outside and prepares another massive stew. Wow, we really are just sort of having a very peaceful existence, which I think is good after all the chaos that we just went through. Just watching a cooking show with Margaret now. Zombie apocalypse pooping with Margaret is how she would say it, probably. The question is now, actually, one second. Just grab the cooking pot again. It's not every day that we get so much delicious rainwater to drink and eat. The question is now, do we go back into that cursed town? Let's have a look at the map. See if we went past any industrial buildings. Not really. And it was pretty busy, wasn't it? Note some stuff down on our map here. Busy town. Lots of dead. Lots of action here. Used my shotgun. Almost died. Well, you were okay, but yeah, I suppose you did, yeah. In which case, I think we probably take one more day chilling out, finish our mechanics book, I think. I'm just going to spend all day reading. It's raining. She had a rough time. Sit on the floor, just here, right here, and just read your book all day. Listen to the rain. After making some plans, she continues reading for most of the day. That mechanics book will be a massive boost to her experience, so she can finally repair Beatrice's engine. The rest of the day passes peacefully, with rainwater pasta and books in the back of Beatrice. Read until about midnight. You should be okay. Yeah. Day 47 is all about progress. She jumps behind the wheel while it's still slightly dark out and begins the long journey to her next destination. Where that is exactly, she's not entirely sure, but she must keep moving. She continues on until she spots more and more zombies. There's a rest area here and she just passes what looked like a gun shop. Margaret stops and instantly regrets it. Well, there's stuff here. Why is it so busy? Why are there so many zombies here? I would like to stop here because I'm fairly certain there's a gun shop here. If I remember correctly, Margaret remembers from her past life. But it's quite a lot of zombies. Yeah, just a few then. Seems to be... Oh my god, Margaret. Careful, focus, woman. There seems to be a slight running issue. Everywhere we go just seems to be slowly filling up with more and more zombies. She ducks, weaves, fires her shotgun, dum-dum, and decides that actually whatever is here is definitely not worth getting eaten alive by 1,000 zombies. She hops back in Beatrice and gets the hell out of there. It's your unlucky day, mister. Let's get out of here. First time start from Beatrice again. That's my goal. Not worth it. Whatever's there is not worth dealing with that many zombies. I'll come back with a Molotov, I think. Let's keep going, Margaret. Once again, she doesn't need to drive that much further to find the next interesting location. Okay then. SOS. Hello? Anybody here? Hello? Lesley? Hello? There were people here once, but they are all gone. Dead, zombified, or moved on to somewhere else. And definitely no Lesley. What's this big blue building? Ah. The bank. The bank is enormous. Margaret's footsteps echo eerily through the empty halls. She finds a note on the reception desk. There's another note here. Maureen told us to close the bank, that there's some kind of illness going around. But I've got to work. Lucy's birthday is coming up and I need the cash. I'm sure it'll be fine. Awful quiet here today though. Only one single checkout all morning. Some guy came to collect a big duffel bag. Guns. From one of the lockers. Very quiet in here. What a weird place. Getting an uncanny feeling. Yeah, I don't like it. That corridor's giving me the heebie-jeebies. Look at it. She leaves the bank because it's giving big backrooms vibes and then checks out the bar down the road. She stocks up on more booze and cigs. Some peanuts. Pretend you're in an old-time bar, Margaret. Then she goes a little further into town looking for factories, gun shops, workshops, anything with anything useful really. Unfortunately, there's not much here, just a few Zeds and a ransacked spiffos. She heads back to Beatrice and reads before bed. Tomorrow is another day. Just gonna sit in this car, have a little cigarette, get some of our exertion up. We're a little bit sleepy. It's just another Gigamart. Just drink a beer. Again, not so much of a stressful day compared to the other day, but still fairly full on. You relax with a beer. Nice. We'll put the rest in the fridge. 8:30. It's fine. Good night, Margaret. Good night. Good morning, Margaret. She's finally taken her earplugs out and we can hear the world again. That's nice. Let's have some jelly beans for breakfast. Yummy. Alright then. So there's no industrial buildings here that we can see. Oh my god. Where did you all come from? What on earth? They're just waiting for me the entire time. There's a person there that I'd love to kill. That Amazonian warrior, you see her with a spear? But that's a bit too many to take on right now. Margaret decides that, in fact, there isn't too many to kill. She wants that sweet loot from the Amazonian warrior. She's not sure where they come from, perhaps some weird cult, but she has seen their zombie bodies wandering before. It's just so foggy, I can't see very far in front of me. Yeah, she's got some makeup, a little feather that I can wear, frying pan, juice box, water bottle, some fish as well, and eggs. Nice. She also wants to check these garages, but they are unfortunately empty. She doesn't bother with the rest and hits the road again. Margaret takes Beatrice up the road and runs into a massive obstacle. Basically impassable, in fact. Military little outpost there. Oh no, that is not good. Nope. The way is blocked. We really can't get through there. There's far too many cars. Once again, it's demonstrated here why Beatrice is sometimes a bit of a problem. She is big, slow, and makes turning around in these circumstances extremely difficult. The zombies slowly gather around the bus. Not like this again. Whoa. Let's try and turn around this way. Beatrice, this is a nightmare. She's moving crazy. Oh my god, really? It turns out, though, that beautiful Beatrice makes up for it by just squishing all of the zombies. Doing a number on them. Nice one, you big mama. Margaret investigates the military tent after clearing out those zombies, finds more military loot, and then goes back outside. The fog has cleared, and it really demonstrates just how screwed they are. They are never getting through that. Yeah, the way is very blocked. Let's just pop back and get some food. Road is blocked. Too many wrecks. Yeah, way too many. We're never getting through that, so we have to go back the way we came then, Margaret. Seems like the only option, unfortunately. There's no industrial buildings here either, so I'm not even going to bother exploring. We know what we want, we know what we need. So there's nothing for it. They need to turn back and try to find another way towards the river. Margaret's reasoning is that any survivors are most likely to be close to the river. Food and water are plenty, as well as potentially fewer zombie hordes. If Lesley is anywhere, she thinks he might be there. Her and Beatrice go back the way they came. It's a long afternoon of driving in the rain. and Beatrice doesn't even get up above 40 miles per hour, which Margaret is actually grateful for because she doesn't want to wrap her beautiful face around a tree. Okay, I think we're approaching that town where we almost had that disaster a couple of days ago. Seems busy again. Horrible, horrible place. Maybe we try and go this way. See if that leads out. Fire department there. It'd be nice to check out. I really am just looking for factories though, honestly. Margaret really has a one-track mind. Propane, metalworking tools, propane torches, anything she can use to repair and upgrade Beatrice. She really wants to give the old girl some armour, especially after recent run-ins with zombie hordes. She stops at this small farmhouse because it's getting late. Okay. An old farmhouse down here. Blockage up ahead. Let's try down here. Could be somewhere where we can spend the night, I think. Margaret clears the house and finds a diary on the shelf. There's a diary here. Some odd folk coming through down the road these days. A couple cars crashed on the bend up there. I just stick to my animals and my barn. My daughter tells me I should pay more attention to what's going on in the world, but I'm just a simple guy. Cows, cow shit, that's more my tempo. Wonder if he's still here. The diary entry obviously spooks her, as she has a mild panic attack in the kitchen. What's wrong? What can you hear? Have a cigarette. Windy. Hot, wet evening. 9:30 is perfect, I think. Good night, Margaret. See if there's any remnants of those cows he was talking about. Maybe he's got some propane in here. On day 49, Margaret wakes up early-ish and the weather is still atrocious outside. She investigates the dead farmer's barn, but there isn't much here. Definitely not any cows. Margaret and Beatrice continue on that wet morning around wrecked cars until they stumble across a post van surrounded by its unfortunate uniformed employees and a promising-looking field that might have more crops in. Time to stop and get a little wet, Margaret. Which means we want to forage for some crops, I think. Even though we've got plenty of food. Oh dear. Seems like the whole Kentucky's entire police force. Police force? Postal boys. Postal people were in this van trying to escape, probably. And maybe all that work. Hey. Come to put you out of your misery. I'll collect all your hats. Bring any supplies with you? Yeah, you did. Looks like they were stocked up, trying to escape. Yeah, and they had a map of Louisville. Maybe that's where they were trying to go. As Margaret wanders the fields in the rain looking for crops, she thinks about those poor posties, all 5 of them, tucked in a small van, meagre supplies at the ready, trying to escape to Louisville of all places. One of them might have turned in the back of the van, ripped another's throat out, until it all screeched to a stop, and their dead bodies came back to life and stumbled into the woods. Horrific. It is no surprise that Margaret starts to feel uneasy in the wet field. Oh, she's having a rough time of it. Having a lot of panic attacks. Is it the spy? I think it's the spy from Team Fortress 2. Ah, yes, a pill bug. Oh, I have a story to tell you about pill bugs. Oh, 3 wild lemons. We could make something tasty with that fish and lemon that we have. Fish and lemon stir fry. Margaret. They drive a little further and Margaret hops out of the bus. She kills a few of the zombies in the area and proceeds on foot towards the gas station. One of the zombies is kitted out, so she probably caves his head in with a crowbar. He's got some goodies on him, that's for sure. More fun stuff here. First aid kit, shells bandolier. Yeah. Careful, Mark, you almost forgot your hat over here. Can't leave your hat behind. Bucket hat. Yeah, you haven't got one of those yet. Something unique for your collection. She's a little worn out, so she goes back to the bus to have a nice chilled luncheon. Fish, wild egg and mushroom stir fry with a dash of lemon. A new bug for our collection. A tiny little pill bug. Nice and cautious, Margaret. No need to get yourself into any scrapes. Car repair. Come on. Gotta be some goodies. Regardless, I think we can probably do some work on Margaret here. Not Margaret. Beatrice. So it was a fairly productive day in terms of zombie slaying, but the auto repair shop was another dud. One day I shall find one with some actual decent loot inside. Bucket hat up there. It's ghostly gibbous. Wear hat on hat. Wow, Margaret. That's a stunning look for you. I think we'll keep that for now. Margaret reads her book wearing her lovely new hat. It was a slow, rhythmic kind of day, and she feels pretty warm and fuzzy inside of Beatrice. It's days like today, cleaving zombies to pieces with her reliable crowbar that keep Margaret going. Maybe, just maybe, she'll find her darling stinky Lesley one day. You look so silly, Margaret. I love it. Good night. 5:10. It's a little early. Have this stir fry for breakfast, the fish and the eggs and the mushrooms and all those goodies. We'll read one more magazine before we head out. Nice. She drives Beatrice towards the auto repair shop, takes care of a few zombies, and decides to finally take some clothes off. This hot summer sun and zombie slaying are making her extremely sweaty. Okay, we're going to start getting tired, so let's just sit on the floor here. Have a smoke. Our silly new hat. You look ridiculous. Cool, calm and collected, Margaret. She's unpleasantly hot. She's got to be so stinky in all those clothes. She's just got so many clothes on. Look at them all. Tank top, bulletproof jacket, a crop top. She's just wearing so many clothes. Good stuff. Okay, let's go back to Beatrice. Where did I put her? She's up here, isn't she? Yeah. And it's back to Beatrice for some lunch on this jazzy afternoon. 2 very herby, spicy carrots to be enjoyed. Margaret, I don't think they're gonna quench that peckish hunger you have, because it is literally just 2 carrots, but she needs a little rest as well. Your hat is so silly, Margaret. Oh, we can see her face paint now too. I think. Yeah, you can. She put on some camo. This area is somewhat clear, but I think I want to take her up this way to the food market. She's feeling fresh, ready to kick some butt. And they just keep coming, don't they? She checks out the food market and gets even more food. She's set for weeks at this point. Margaret stares lovingly at all the rotten fruit and cakes, and then finds the holy grail for any budding nomad survivor on the road. The one, the only, Army surplus store. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Let's push our way quietly towards that then, shall we? Maybe tomorrow. She's moderately exerted. It's taking it so easy. Margaret is just relaxing. She's got all the time in the world to read a couple more magazines before bed. Get our reading in, basically. Already read, unread. Noisemaker. Sure, why not? Let's read how to make some dough and batter and stuff. Wicked. Nice. Just read all of these. All these. Get yourself a little beer, I think, as a little treat. You killed a lot of zombies today with your silly hat on. 1,494 zombies killed. Wow. Nice, have a little puff. Let's kill some zombies. Have a little look, shall we? Oh, baby. I love this place. Margaret pillages pretty much everything she can carry from the surplus store. Ammo, guns, clothing, you name it, Margaret pockets it. She also pauses for a moment in the toilet. Wash yourself in the toilet, Margaret. Lovely, rub that toilet water on your face. Hear someone snuffling around outside? Yes, really rub it in, Margaret. Really rub it in. Overall then, not even really that useful. I mean, we've got loads of ammo and all kinds of good bits and pieces, but no propane. Propane torches is what we need more than anything right now. Everything else means nothing. Eerily quiet here now, after we killed all the zombies. It's almost something quite comforting about their shambling presence, you know? So I say we head this way? Because I still think this might be one of our best options for finding more propane. This area is very built up, wasn't it? Seems to be doing circles though, sort of. Yeah, I say we go down. So off they venture for about 30 seconds before Margaret gets distracted again. I might want to check out what's down here though, actually. Okay, let's keep moving. Not going to take Beatrice because she does seem to kind of run into some problems when it's that tight. Any barbecues? She's looking for barbecues for more propane tanks. But apparently this neighbourhood aren't the barbecuing type. Or at least, they aren't anymore. Never used to be. Margaret gets a little confused. Doesn't look like it. Just more zombies. Anybody home? You know what that means. Perfectly barricaded window. It's time to have a bath. Take your 80 layers of clothing off, Margaret. Ah yes, have a bath with your hat on and your bandoliers. Perfect. Just going to check out that truck over there, because I think I can probably just get the last bit of this mechanic skill done. Just fixated on some key things. Mechanics, propane, killing zombies. Ah, there we go. There's the mechanics level we needed. Now we can take all these engine parts. Nice. We can go and fix up Beatrice's little face. Something about this hat that Margaret's put on has just turned her into an absolute zombie killing machine. She has no reason to even kill these zombies. She's just doing it because the hat is commanding her to do so. Any barbecues? Yo, anybody got any barbecues? Not that I can see. Just not that kind of neighbourhood, eh? Let's get out of here. We need somewhere with more cars, more propane torches, etc, etc. We're on a mission, Margaret. You know? We're on a mission. Keep going. On they go. Margaret stops to forage a little, then spies some more interesting things around the next bend. Oh, Kentucky, you are a veritable basket of delicious oddities. Get your hands off my bus, you filthy little rat. What do you think you're doing? Get your hands off my bus. Oh, I didn't even see you. You're blending in with the foliage. Survivor here. I'll take care of. Sometimes they have cheese. He's got cheese and bread. There. Bounty hunter. Do you know what that means? We can have a cheese sandwich. Yes, Margaret, we can have a cheese sandwich for dinner. We're just going to pay our respects to the church first, and then we'll move on. Very quiet. Not any church hangings we can pick up. Take with us. Let's have yourself a delicious cheese sandwich for dinner, Margaret. She ran back to the bus, so excited to eat her cheese sandwich. Oh, a delicious cheese sandwich. Cheese and tomato. Cheese and wild garlic. Cheese and ketchup. Yes, that sounds like right up Margaret Street. Again, Lesley's favourite meals. Cheese and ketchup sandwich. Enjoy it, Margaret. Think of your dinky husband. And we'll have a cigarette as well, actually. Before bed, to try and cheer herself up after that miserably nostalgic cheese and ketchup sandwich, she watches a VHS. Even though she can't really see, because there's quite a lot of hats in the way and also a plant. But let's see what's on. Heard a guy pass through town the other day, big moustache, name of Kelly. Funny name for a moustache. Next one might be passing through your spittoon. Alright. Kelly passed through town, said he'd be back in 3 nights. Little reminder of the old world, isn't it? Humans used to just shoot at each other. Bet they wouldn't do it now. All dead. Not really sure what was going on, but it seemed like Margaret enjoyed it. It cheers her up, sort of, and she practices reloading her shotgun for an hour before bed. Next time she meets one of those hordes, she's going to be goddamn ready. Okay, time for bed, you little nutter. On day 52, Margaret starts the day with some tailoring, really hardly any at all, because most of her clothes, all 100 pieces of them, are in okay condition. Then it's time to set out on another long journey through fields, past zombies and around police blockades. She passes the Akron Inn, where she spent a night a few days ago, and then drives into town. Ah, finally, the fabled industrial building she's been looking for. Margaret hops out to start securing her sweet loot. Hopefully. Just need to pull them out. Don't want to go in that dark hole. Looks like there's quite a few in there. This guy's just stuck on the door like an idiot. Makes me, like, not want to walk in there. In case he just changes his mind last second and just grabs me from behind. I'm going in. I knew it. To be honest, there's not much inside. Mostly tools she already has, but she does find 2 massive propane tanks, which is a massive get. That's plenty to get started on some big upgrades for Beatrice. Now she just needs more sheets, pipes, bars and other bits and pieces to really get underway. Another note here. To Sandy. If you come in today, I've gone home. My head was hurting real bad. Don't worry about closing up, just lock the doors and I'll see you the next couple of days. Yeah. That's unlikely. Ugh, look at them all. She loots 2 more buildings and just finds more old tools. Plenty of good stuff to disassemble here, so that's what she'll do. Very quiet here though. Could be a nice place to work on Beatrice. So, let's give it a go. Margaret takes apart every shelf, cabinet and counter, levelling up metalworking while she's at it and getting plenty of materials for Beatrice and her upgrades. This continues on day 53. Nice. Beatrice is going to look so good with these upgrades. I can't wait to see her. Let's not smoke a cigarette right next to the propane. How about that, Margaret? Seems like a terrible idea. She disassembles even more metal stuff, brings it back to the bus, and then attempts Beatrice's very first upgrade. Oh baby. A spiked plough. We won't know until we turn her around. We're going to save the plough for a little surprise when she turns around, and Margaret spends the rest of the day actually fixing up various other bits of Beatrice's inside. She's looking better than ever. Nice. Long, hard day of work, Margaret. Go in and get yourself a nice, easy little snack. Actually, we're going to grab a bottle of red wine. You've been toiling. You've been toiling over the front of Beatrice. So, have a little celebratory glug of red wine, I think, Margs. It's more of the same on day 54, but she's looking for bars and pipes specifically, which come from... so it's all toilets and sinks and stuff give pipes, which makes sense. Doesn't it, Margaret? So we'll pop back in here. So peaceful, really. It's lovely manual toil. With those materials, she can start adding more upgrades, like these wheel protectors. Nice. Get some protection on her. Nice. And the door, of course. Oh, she's gonna look so good. This is hard bloody work though, isn't it? You also need to make yourself a big fat stew, Margaret. Oh, I can't wait to see what my Beatrice looks like. She's gonna look crazy. She fills her pot with water from the dispenser inside and makes a bean and bread stew. Margaret is losing weight again, and she must eat. This is gonna be delicious. Hopefully it makes you very full, Margaret. Beans and bread soup. Delectable. Listen to it bubble. Okay, just slurp it down. Oh. She had a bit of a panic attack whilst reading. Something in the metalworking book must have spooked her. It's okay, it's just nuts, bolts and pipes. Don't worry about it, Margaret. They can't hurt you. Maybe. Maybe they can. Maybe they're evil pipes. Okay, time for bed. On day 55, she makes yet another stew. She must eat. This is an enormous stew. Glug it. Dance, dance, spin around whilst you eat it, Margaret. Then she heads out to hunt for more toilets and sinks in some nearby buildings. She loots the sink. Mmm, tasty pipes. Then it's back to Beatrice for more stew. Lovely. Another soup on the go. Living the life, Margaret. Nice and easy. Make you plump again, Margaret, plump. Basically created a bomb bus. This is so dangerous. Imagine if it exploded. So we need more metal bars for the window protection. We need more metal bars for the roof. And that's it, actually. Then we're ready. All right, let's see what she looks like, shall we? Oh, boy. Ho, 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 boy. He looks crazy. Oh, Beatrice. Ho, ho, ho. Mean killing machine. Right then, I say we go this way. Continue on our adventure. Let's go. Upgraded. Look at that armored door as well. No one's getting in my bus. Okay. So Beatrice has now truly evolved into a battle bus. Watch this. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And there's a petrol station here and everything. It's a little busy. Nothing Margaret can't handle. Especially with this baseball bat, my goodness. Ah, a delicious dehydrated meat stick. Margaret's favourite. These trailers might be good because there might be just a high concentration of toilets and sinks in each one. So I think we should check them out. I have to be tomorrow job though. She's already a little bit exerted. She just needed a tiny rest. Marmalade and peanut butter. Alright, let's head back. She's sleepy. She got some bits and pieces. Just pop back. Play it nice and easy, I think. Excellent few days' work, Margaret. We've progressed a lot. She reads before bed and says goodnight to eggs. Good night, Margaret. And good morning, my darling, darling Margaret. 6 a.m. And we shall continue on where we left off yesterday. Clear out some of these zombies down here, I think. Ah, yes. We rejoin Margaret on day 56. She has a few more zombies to kill. For fun, really. She fills up Margaret at the pump. What a beautiful bus she is. She looks mean. Nice. You look totally bizarre, Margaret, but I love it. Right then, I say we try and go up this way. First of all, though, it says this might be an industrial building, so just gonna have a look. Whoa. This car is in really good condition. Like, really good. Nice, we're just gonna razz this around, I think. And see what we can find nearby. Do a little bit of scouting. Big food market here. Don't really need any more food. Bunch of houses. Again, don't really need them. Little restaurant here. Jenny's Shakes. Oh, some lovely greenhouses. Look at them. There isn't really much here in town that's any use to Margaret, but it was nice to have a little look around. She does get around to checking out the building, and it's stacked with tools, but it's here that Margs realises that she's got pretty much everything she needs anyway. Goodbye. Margaret has a little wander through the fields, looking for goodies. Mushrooms, nice. And now we're gonna strip down this little car. I'm sorry, my darling. You must be sacrificed. To go to the god, Beatrice, the goddess. Full tank of gas. Engine still needs more repairs, so we need to find some with a bunch of cars we can use. Look at the battle bus. What a beauty. Alright, let's go. So off they set with a new goal in mind. The town by the river, formerly known as Riverside. Margaret's suspicions about survivors being close to the river are still strong, so she makes her way through the dead countryside, with Beatrice, of course. Ah, crap. Gotta clear the path, Margaret. Sorry, folks. Beatrice just push these out of the way. No. Or maybe. Nice. She can. Good work. Good work, Beatrice. Good work. Right, let's keep going. On they go until they find a lovely spot to take a small break. She needs to read metalworking anyway, so she takes her time, then heads to bed. Good night, Margaret.
Margaret.
Oh. It's okay. It's okay. A cigarette. Calm down. You didn't hear anything. There's no one here. Nothing here. After that night spook, she continues on in the early morning to make good progress towards the river. After a couple of hours, they reach the town. We'll park up here and get our bearings. There's a few undead around. It's no problem for Margaret. Just clear out the area. Hello, you little worm. Nice, it's in good condition. Just needs gas. There are zombies in the bar. She'll leave them to break down the barricades and come back later. And she loots the gas station shop, then explores a little bit of the nearby area. Oh. Junkyard. That could be excellent. Yeah, definitely going to check that out. A lot of zombies around here, though. A bunch. What's wrong with your head, mister? After a while, though, she becomes exhausted, so it's time to return to Beatrice. She'll be back here tomorrow. Time for her classic bedtime routine. Stir fry, a book, and a lovely, musty sofa. It's only 6 PM, but we can finish our book, I think, and then go to bed. She's tired already. Ridiculously tired, actually. She's had a busy day, I suppose. Nice. 9 PM again. And we shall sleep. Right then, let's go check out this bar before we go and check out the junkyard up there. Need to fill up our bottle anyway, so let's go have a look. She loots the bar for booze and cigarettes, then drives Beatrice up to the junkyard. Margaret takes care of some zombies, then stops for a smoke and a snack. What do you fancy, Margaret? Jujubes. Jujubes. Jujubes? Jujubes? After the snack, she peers through the trees and spots something odd. To whoever finds this, here lies a great man. His name was Lesley Stump. He established Fort Margaret here in the junkyard and helped many others survive. He also managed to kill thousands of zombies in the town. Lesley named the fort after Margaret, his wife. Lesley was a stinky man, that's for sure, and explaining to other survivors when they arrived why there were so many pairs of underpants everywhere was not easy. But he left a big hole in my heart, and it was even harder to leave his body here, in this tiny grave, hardly worthy of a man of his stature. He wasn't killed by a zombie. He was killed by another survivor, someone who didn't understand how beautiful he was. We're heading to Louisville. There might be hope for you there, reader. Farewell, Lesley. Your good friend, Paul. Oh, Margaret. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. She is angry. Very, very angry. Absolutely furious. The world must burn. Margaret walks silently towards the town, Molotov cocktail in hand. Her head is numb. She can hardly see. Everything must burn. She throws the cocktail at the first building she sees. She doesn't know what it will achieve, but she wants to see the flames. Margaret stands in the car park and watches the bar go up in flames. Any semblance of the old world, her old life, is totally ruined. Her husband, the lovable Lesley, is dead. It's you and me against the world. I love you. I love you. Everything's going to be okay, Margaret. Everything's going to be okay. We will get revenge on the world for what they did to Lesley Stump, your darling stinky husband. We will get revenge. Margaret gets blackout drunk, the drunkest she has ever been. It makes her erratic. She crawls around on the floor, crying. Don't go towards the fire, Margaret. Don't. Let it burn. She stands up in a fuzzy haze. This isn't what Lesley would have wanted.
Margaret. Are you there, Margaret?
Okay. It's okay. Everything's going to be okay, Margaret. Exhausted and drunk, she stomps this zombie's head to a pulp. It's now the time. Stamped him out of existence. Come on, Margaret. Let's go back to Beatrice. You still have so long ahead of you. So much to live for. Kind of. She sits in the dark and reads the note again. Here lies a great man. His name was Lesley Stump. Tired, drunk, shattered, she falls asleep. Okay, Margaret. Today is another day. Oh no. She's starting to get messy. She's starting to leave stuff everywhere. It's raining out there. You know what that means. It means that Margaret will sit in the back of Beatrice for the entire day, drinking her stockpile of alcohol and watching tapes, waiting for tears to come. Margaret's a little bit drunk again. She throws the bottles on the floor. She is so tired, ridiculously tired. The mental exhaustion and alcohol and the soft, dulcet tones of the tape drive her back to the musty sofa bed, but she awakes a couple of hours later from another spook. It's okay, Margaret. It's okay. Have a cigarette. Calm down. Just go back to sleep. Turn the lights off, maybe. She can't sleep, so she just stares at the dead television, waiting for her breathing to calm. Flat line. Eventually she can sleep again. Oh no. Had another one. She's having a rough time. Have a cigarette. It's okay. It's okay. You're not hungry, Margaret? No, she's not particularly hungry. What can we do? Take some sleeping pills? The effects of the booze have worn off, so she takes some sleeping pills, and then, quite bizarrely, decides that now is the time to do some burpees. I do not recommend taking sleeping pills and then trying to do burpees, but this might tire her out. It does tire her out, and she can sleep again, but it is not an easy sleep. It's okay. It's okay. Maybe reading about metalworking would cheer you up. It is the metalworking that bores her to sleep, and she sleeps through until 5 in the morning. She feels slightly better. The feeling of sadness has now begun to be replaced with a feeling of irrepressible rage. Okay, we managed to sort of save ourselves some time there. When in doubt, anyone sad in your life, just give them a lollipop. We must go on, Margaret. We must go on. We pour all your love and love and soul into Beatrice, the only thing you have left. Eat this whole jar of peanut butter. Today, we kick some butt. We have business to attend to. Margaret unhitches the trailer from Beatrice, really sets her free. They drive into the middle of town, Beatrice's glorious honker roaring loudly for the entire swarm of undead to hear. Slowly they drive, amassing a sizable horde behind them. What is she actually going to do? A small feeling of panic starts to build in Margaret's throat. She didn't think this far ahead. You see Lesley's hard work undone. The place is teeming with the undead. Complete futility of life. Margaret drives this way and that way through the town, blindly taking turns. Eventually she gets out of the bus, lights a Molotov cocktail and chucks it into the horde. She doesn't care if the whole town burns to dust. Margaret also realised that she probably should have made more Molotovs. She drives back towards the junkyard and hops out to take care of the stragglers. She prepares more Molotovs and drives into town again. This time she hops out with her shotgun to really see the zombies splattered to pieces. Then she throws another Molotov into the horde, cutting it a little close. She loops around and kills more with her shotgun. Margaret is starting to have fun, which is always a concern. Okay. Little bit sketchy. Oh my god, Margaret, your aim. Okay. Who knows if that was an effective way, Margaret, of doing anything, really. But we'll have to see, won't we? You've let off 3 Molotov cocktails. I wonder if anything's on fire. I hope it is. Good work today, Beatrice. You mean killing machine, you. One more for good luck. See ya. Oh, Margaret. How are you feeling? Rough? Yeah, fair enough. Have another smoke. You're really chewing through those cigarettes, Margaret. We're going to need to find some more. I feel like this town is not going to look in fantastic shape, though, so we'll probably have to go elsewhere. She's also a bit sad, which, you know, justifies one last bottle of wine, I think. A nice cold one from the fridge. Actually, let's just go to sleep. Good morning, Margaret. How are you doing today after all that chaos? Let's do a crossword. Calm you down after all of that chaos you just went through. Margaret wakes up early, so she reads and does some crosswords. She's going to take it understandably easy for the next couple of days. Once the sun is up a little, she hops out and takes a look at all the busted cars in the junkyard. Ah yes, Louisville. It's where the note said Paul had gone, whoever Paul is. They will be very useful completing Beatrice's final upgrades and repairing her after the bust-ups with the zombies yesterday. In a small junkyard shack, she finds more information about Paul. Paul's diary. Goddamn, they got Lesley. Mad lady with a shotgun. Nothing I could do. There was nothing I could do. It's alright, Paul. Margaret has come to terms with it slightly. She just hopes that you're still alive somewhere, so that she can hear more about Lesley's last days. Then she fills up her propane torches to prepare for the grand dismantling of the many cars in the yard. However, just as she starts, it starts to rain heavily, and she is already soaking wet. We don't want Margaret to get a cold, not after the past couple of days she's had, so we just relax in Beatrice, read some comics, cook some mushrooms, and do some burpees. We'll just fry up the last of your mushrooms then. It's raining even harder outside now, Margaret. I'm not going to make you go outside. You've just dried off, for goodness sake. Don't worry, we can work tomorrow. Whoa, what the hell did you just do? Whoa! That scared the hell out of me, but that's a nice look, Margaret. Yeah, I like it. Eventually, she just runs out of things to do in Beatrice. She's watched all the tapes and read most of the books, so she heads out in the rain to grab some headlights from this truck, as Beatrice's were damaged during the fighting. she makes other repairs to her beloved bus. And she might as well make the most of the rain, so she fills up her pot again. More delicious rainwater stew for you, Margaret, I think. Ah, perfect. Drink it sideways out of the pot. Her metalworking skill has gone up, so she reads the next book before bed. Day 62 is much of the same. She goes around dismantling vehicles, refilling her propane when necessary, and stockpiling all the resources in front of Beatrice. The seats in the bus are pretty old and ruined, so Margaret fixes them up. Duct tape. Ah yes, of course, everything just stitched together with duct tape. And she also pumps all the tyres, then works all day dismantling and gathering resources until she can finally add a new upgrade to the bus. Oh hell yeah. Okay. Margaret's got a new hairdo. She's sporting a beehive. Oh hell yeah. Roof rack, a roof toolbox. Wow, how exciting. Nice. Beatrice is looking good. What else can we actually add? Look. Metal pipes, metal sheets. Left window, metal pipes, metal bars, metal pipes. Just bring everything over here. But we'll do that tomorrow because she's knackered. Just read an hour before bed, Margaret, my darling. Even though you are knackered. Till 9 o'clock and now you can sleep. Oh. Whoa. And it sounded like Beatrice was speaking to her then. Really odd. Okay, you know what to do in this situation. Have a cigarette. It solves all problems. Cigarette in a juice box. It's just what my parents used to give to me when I used to wake up with nightmares. Sort me right out. And it shall sort you out also, Margaret. Day 63, same as the last. Picking up materials, dismantling cars, and saying hello to the locals. Who on earth are you? Paul Blart. Hello. Literally Paul Blart the mall cop. Hi, buddy. Come on, you got it. Slowly haul it over. Look at all the stuff that you've just thrown on top of Beatrice, including all of the screws. Nice. Woohoo! She's looking so good. Nice. I think that's pretty much all we can add. He looks beautiful. Have a cigarette and relax, Margaret. Beatrice looks positively formidable. Oh. Yeah, that's Beatrice again, just saying hello. Appears the bus seems to be just talking to her now, which is slightly concerning. It appears that Margaret and Beatrice now have some kind of telekinetic connection. Beatrice will fill the hole that Lesley has left in her life. With Beatrice fully upgraded, their time here is coming to an end. And that's us done, I think, here at Fort Margaret. We should go and see Lesley's grave one more time, shouldn't we, really, before we leave? I know what he would have wanted. He would have wanted some underpants. And Margaret's going to take her socks off and leave them bare for him also. The tree moved. Lesley's soul saying, thank you for your pants and thank you for your socks, Margaret. Goodbye, Lesley. Gonna go and find your friends now. Margaret has gone completely loopy, of course, in this situation. Wouldn't you, viewer? Oh well. Lesley got what he wanted. One more pair of pants. One more pair of dirty socks. Straight from Margaret's feet. Amazing. Just amazing. Right then. We're not going to hit the road quite yet, but we are going to hook up the trailer again. And a little mark here for Lesley's grave. And so it's time for one last sleep at Fort Margaret, a place now all but forgotten. She rests, and on the next day she will start out through the town and onwards to whatever the road might hold for her. Okay. Good night, Margaret. See you soon. Good morning, Margaret. Morning cigarette, of course, to start the day. I would expect nothing less from you, Margaret. You need more cigarettes, though. You're running low. You're also a little peckish, so let's eat some canned carrots just to tide you over. On day 64, Margaret heads into town, half hoping that it isn't actually all on fire. She wants to grab some tapes from the tape shop for the next rainy day. It's a simple goal, but her life has to be simple now. Lesley is long gone. She has to keep going for just the little things. Hello, gang. Quite a lot of zombies here. There are a lot of zombies here, which is a running theme for the next few days. So I suppose it's time for another little musical number to tide us over. Just imagine this is all clanging around in Margaret's head. She's hungover and going mad. Poor lady. You are quite the nutter, Margaret. Just wipe them all out. Stop for a lollipop? She loots a hell of a lot of tapes from the tape shop. She'll never have a boring rainy day again, and restocks on booze from the liquor store. Then leaves a parting message for this horrible little town. And just for good measure, we'll burn it all to the ground. Yes, we shall burn it to the ground. Oh, hello. Alright then. Leave that blazing inferno behind us and let's keep moving. Down the river. Anything here I want to look at? Not really. Nothing I need here. Excuse me. Coming through. Excuse me, guys. Excuse me. Excuse me. Nice to see them still on fire. On the way out of town, she finds this weather service station. It's a little confusing, but she thinks it might be important for the future, so she marks it off on her map. She stops a little further down the river because she wants to do some fishing, but she needs to take care of the locals first. Here, however, Margaret overlooks the large expanse of water and breathes in the cool air. She goes back to the bus to have dinner and read before bed. Her arms are sore after a long day of slicing zombies to pieces. It feels good to be in the countryside again. On the next day, she continues on, very early on, having spotted a better fishing spot down the road. It's still dark out, but it's relatively peaceful, so she grabs her rod and tackle and goes fishing. Gonna use a couple of our caterpillars. Sorry, my little friends. You must be sacrificed for the greater good. Right, what did we catch? Whoa! A lot of food. Okay. After a while, she returns with a big fish and a couple of little ones, just enough to keep her going for a few days. Whoa. Yeah, I know, I'm gonna fix the bus, Beatrice. Goodness, I'm fixing the trailer right now. She does indeed fix the trailer, just with some metal sheets, then fixes herself a delicious fish stir-fry in the back of the bus. Gonna smell real fishy in this bus, Margaret. Real fishy. Then it's time to hit the road once more. They pretty much immediately run into the first of many roadblocks on this segment of the trip, but after clearing some bushes, Beatrice is just about able to squeeze past. Nice, so close. Push, push, Beatrice, push. Push, girl, push. Yes, you can do it. You can do it. Yes. Yes, push around. Yes, Beatrice. Strongest girl in town. Legend. It is quite a gorgeous day in Kentucky. Margaret appreciates the trees and their russet tones. She is all alone in the world, and the trees are putting on a show for her. It's always good to put these people out of their misery. Whoa, are we living in some kind of time loop? What on earth? Didn't we just see this? If I remember correctly, which I always do, there's some beautiful houses up here. These isolated mansions will provide a safe spot for Margaret to relax after the long drive. She clears out the first building. Lady of the house, outside if you don't mind. And on her way out back, she has a little spook. Oh. It's okay. Little whispers of the past she can hear. She has a feeling Lesley was here once. He probably sat on this very bench. Maybe he stood on the end of this dock. Maybe he also had a cold can of potato. Eat those potatoes in his memory, Margaret. 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 And also have a cigarette, just for good measure. The clothes are filthy. You know what would be really nice, Margaret? We could set up the generator behind this house and use the tumble dryer. Wouldn't that be good? I think we give it a go. Before she sets up the generator, she takes a look at the other houses. Really not much to see here at all. Then heads back to sleep before a day of relaxation by the river. Smother the doll with the pillow. Let's read the rest of our book. Till 9 PM. Nice. And we'll hit the stack. It's chilly today. First cold day of the year. It's the first slightly chilly morning of the year, the sign of the changing seasons, and even more reason for Margaret to get the generator going in this house. Maybe she can finally get some hot water. It's a distant hope, but a hope nonetheless. Whoa. Light. The artificial light is slightly blinding on the dark morning, and when Margaret tries the washer, she's faced with disappointment only. Requires a source of water. That's a shame. Water's turned off, obviously, isn't it? To cheer herself up, She puts some hair curlers in. She looks fantastic, of course. Oh, Margaret, you look fantastic. Turn all the lights on in this house. Margaret goes from room to room, turning on every light in the house. Wow. The fake light is so nostalgic. Oh, wow. The bathroom in particular is very dazzling. It makes her feel brand new. I know. So it's time for a new look as well. Curlers be damned. She's gonna cut her hair. Whoa. Margaret. You look like a new woman. Good look. Let's give you a wash. Get some of that blood off your face. After washing the blood from her new face, she unplugs the generator. It was nice while it lasted. Small homage to the old world, Margaret. Ah yes, just a lovely blood-curdling scream to remind us of what's really going on here. In the morning of day 65, she completes a 17-point turn to get Beatrice out of the compound and hits the road again on the foggy morning. Beatrice begins whispering to her as they drive, and it scares the hell out of her. Oh my god, that made me jump. Beatrice! Oh crap. We appear to have hit a small dead end here. Reverse very slowly. Back up the path. Very slowly. Oh, you're getting wibbly. What a nightmare. Beatrice does not like dead ends, but eventually she figures it out. A little further down the road, Margaret stops and cracks open a can of sardines. Wow. Sorry, Beatrice, I won't eat sardines in the cab anymore. I know it stinks, but they're delicious. Excellent source of nutrition, Beatrice. Goodness me. We need to get you more cigarettes, Margaret. That's our next epic quest. She goes crazy if she doesn't have her cigarettes. Yes, you heard the egg. Margaret is running out of cigarettes. And in a world where everyone is dead, including her husband, it's a simple task like grabbing some cigs that keeps you going in the end. There are more blockages down the line, and this time Margaret decides to salvage the wrecks for parts as she goes. It's not an easy job, and in the end, it makes her fairly depressed. Oh, Margaret is depressed. Fine, I guess you've made very little progress today, so I understand why she might be depressed. Oh, and of course she's just found out that her husband had died, of course, as well. Of course, Margaret, of course. Fine, let's get you some enjoyment time, shall we? We slice this fillet. Cut up this small trout. Grab your frying pan. Ah yes, the universal key to happiness, a single fried trout. Scrumptious, Margaret. She also listens to music and sings along like no one is listening, which of course they aren't, because the world is dead, and no one can hear you sing. Funky guitar intro. See you sitting alone at the disco club. Oh yeah, your friends are all coupled, but you look troubled. Oh yeah, Margaret loves this one. Dance your problems away. You hear her, Margaret? Wipe those tears away and get funky. Yeah, get funky, real funky. Get on the dance floor. Wow, Margaret, you have a beautiful voice. She drinks a bottle of white wine, reads a little bit before bed, and settles down for a nice, peaceful sleep. Nice. Okay. You've got a pillow with 2 dolls. Margaret. Oh, bound to happen, wasn't it? Beatrice whispering to her again. Goodness me, we need to find you some more cigarette stats. But it's the only thing keeping you going. God, it's such a den in here. Look at all the hats. So many hats. She paces up and down the bin side of the bus. It's okay, Margaret. It's okay. Okay. Calm. 10:30. Margaret, you lazy duck. I guess she did have a fairly rough night's sleep. On day 66, she drives until she finds something peculiar. Something very peculiar indeed. What's this then? Looks intriguing. Looks very intriguing indeed. I want to slurp burp. Bridge. So where? Have a look? Yeah, let's have a little wander up. I'm very intrigued. She walks along the bridge, slicing zombies as she goes. Where does the bridge go? Nobody knows. Where are we? The small island, which is where the bridge goes, is crawling with zombies. So Margaret does something brave and foolish. She turns on the ambulance siren. Okay, that might be a bad idea. We'll see, won't we? We'll have to see how many are there tomorrow. Oh boy. Yeah, there could be a few. Oh boy. Not that many. 1 Molotov, I think, would do the job. We'll come back tomorrow and see what's happened. Is that a terrible idea? Potentially. Potentially. She makes plans to return tomorrow, but she wakes up too early in the morning. And then Beatrice starts whispering again, and she slept till 3. Oh. I know, Beatrice. I know you don't like me cooking fish in here. I know it makes your insides smell, but we have to eat. We have to eat. After a delectable fish breakfast, she heads back over the bridge to see what sort of chaos the ambulance has caused on the little cursed island. Quite a few then, but some of them have been pulled away. The alarm must have stopped working. Right, let's take out these stragglers then. That's a rather unpleasant number of zombies, isn't it? Margaret lets loose with the Molotov cocktail. It's time to burn again. Whoa, they are burning a good one over there. They are really, really on fire over there. That's pretty good. Pretty good. It's almost perfect outcome, to be honest. The bridge is a little bit on fire, but it should be okay. I mean, they're certainly on fire. You've just formed this giant smouldering mass of zombies. I mean, it's brilliant. They haven't wandered into any of the buildings yet, which is pretty good. They are moving as one homogeneous lump towards that building, though, however. And so we have a simple zombie slowly pushing their way towards the building. More and more join them. Maybe they're drawn by the heat, the light, the sound of the crackling, smouldering zombies. Rather hard to tell, but they are all slowly burning. Yes. Very interesting. Never observed this behaviour before. Very interesting indeed. Do not go over towards the wooden fence. It's drawing more and more of them in, apparently. Uh-oh, that one's going inside. Ah, yes. Well, say goodbye to that building then. That was always gonna happen. Well, that was rather fascinating, wasn't it, Margaret? Should we go get some lunch? Yeah, and we'll bring Beatrice in as well. I am curious about this place. She drives the bus over to the island to get a closer look at what might be here. Honestly, there's hardly anything there worth Margaret's time. Some crates, a few buildings, a bunch of zombies. No cigarettes, which is what she really needs. She sleeps that night in the bus on the island, and Beatrice has more words for her on the next morning. We get the hell out of here. Yes, I know, Beatrice, it stinks of fish. Gotta stop me smoking so many cigarettes, Beatrice. I'm running low. I've only got 20 left. You keep scaring me in the middle of the night. Your nonsense, whispering to me. Oh well, gives us a chance to read a little bit more. Read till 2:30. We just slaughtered so many zombies. What's your zombie count up to now? 2,092. Goodness me. Okay. On day 68, Margaret drives into the next town. It's full of zombies again, of course. The whole world is full of the rotting bastards, and she's hunting for a gas station for cigarettes, mostly. It's a little busy in town, so she keeps driving to the outskirts until she finds this American Tire. And more zombies, of course. American Tire. Better get to it then. God damn, Margaret. Anybody got any cigarettes for me? There are no cigarettes on the bodies and none in the shop. There are a few tools and snacks indoors, but Margaret is pretty stocked already. She is in desperate need of cigs, so she continues on. More zombies to kill. Come on, cigarettes. Please, 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 please let there be some cigarettes. Come on, please, please, please. That looks like cigarettes to me. Come on, please, 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 please. Yes. Phew. Okay, we got 20 more. Still not that many, but better than none. Margaret finally has some smokes and can loot some of the nearby buildings, which basically just means killing zombies. She kills a lot of zombies, too many zombies to make into another montage. Dear, oh dear. It's a lot of zombies to kill, isn't there, Margaret? Just goes on and on and on. Just an endless wave of zombies. That's all you've done today. It's 5 PM and you've just killed God knows how many. What are you on now? Yeah, over 200 zombies. 200 zombies in one day, basically. Killing machine, Margaret. Killing machine. Oh, grab a smoke as well. And read your book. The cycle continues. Covered in gore, splattered. She needs to wash soon. Alright, 9 o'clock. Good night, Margaret. Good night. Good night, you mad, crazed lady, you. Oh, good. The other light went out. Now it is pitch black in here. Fantastic. That'll also be something we have to deal with then. Good morning, Margaret. How are we today? It appears that it's very dark. We rejoin Little Miss Stump on day 69, on the road, driving without purpose, after the shocking discovery of her poor departed husband. Ideally, she wants somewhere to relax for a couple of days, restock on fish and other goodies, and then head towards Louisville to hunt down this mysterious man who had left a note by Lesley's grave. I don't know where we're going. We're just rambling. We don't have much purpose. Our only purpose is to go. Along the road, she finds a small camp infested with undead hunters, which she quickly dispatches in the hopes she might find a gun or two. These are useless hunters, however, and they have nothing. Traps haven't even caught anything. A little further down the road, Margaret finds another town. There is always another town, just on the horizon. She hops out to take a little look. She checks out the cars, then heads into the clothes shop. Like a madwoman, she frantically rips the clothes off the railings for thread and fabric. Excuse me, sir, what do you think you're doing by my bus? This is Beatrice. She is my friend. She also puts up a new clothing rail on top of all the propane tanks in the back of Beatrice. She has sworn nothing bad can happen. Surely. And of course the red trunks will go on my bed. They lovely and blood-stained. Delectable. Down the road is a gas station, which she checks for cigs. Whoa. Margaret, what are you doing? Wow. What a move. But there's nothing but dusty old notes in the counter. She raids Spiffos for ketchup. Of course, Margaret wants nothing but to cover herself in ketchup like a thick slime. I spy a lot of ketchup on the tables. Oh, baby. I'm gonna have a ketchup party. Lovely ketchup bath. Margaret. And proceeds towards the used car lot, where she finds a note in the desk. This is my last testament. They're smashing the damn windows in. A couple folks just swung into the lot, all frothing at the mouth. They didn't see me. I put sheets up, but they are smashing. I love you, Lord. Save me, Lord. Oh boy. He won Ghana. He won Ghana. Wonder where he is. You in here, sir? Hello? Are you in here? No. After a long day of not very much at all, she reads her little book about mechanics and falls asleep nice and peaceful in the back of the pitch black Beatrice. We'll try to find a light in the next couple of days. Margaret wakes up in the pitch black on day 70 and is promptly scared to death. Whoa! She clears out the small hoard in the light of Beatrice's eyeballs, then investigates the nearby cozy buildings for lamps. Both lights in the back of Beatrice are busted, and she must have light. It is the simple tasks like this that distract Margaret. Just keep plodding on, one task at a time. Unfortunately, it appears these houses, all of them, have no lights at all. Great. Any lamps? Anybody got any lamps? Lamps. Anybody got any lamps? I'd love a lovely lamp, please. She slices her way through the small town, searching for lamps and cigs. Margarine. Margarine. It's been a long time since we found any. Oh my god, 2 tubs. Double margarine and lard. Ooh, mama, we're gonna get fat. No cigarettes in that shop, just margarine. She investigates a large warehouse instead. Hello? What's this then? Whoa. That's a lot of shelves to disassemble. Cabbage seeds, we will take. I don't think Margaret's anywhere near settling down. She's still got rather a lot of exploration to be doing. But you never know. You just never know. Marx takes Beatrice down the road and spies a large gas station, but she needs to clear the area of zombies first. The machete makes extremely light work of these falls. Lovely hat, ma'am. Well, that was a little brazen, but honestly, could have gone a lot worse. Summer hat. Don't mind if I do. Unfortunately, even in this enormous gigaplex of a gas station, there are no cigarettes. Margaret leaves empty-handed. She checks out the sports hall teeming with zombies and a small, cozy little garage, which she finds a note in the back of. I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. Always wanted to be on my own anyway. I got enough supplies to last a couple of weeks. It'll all blow over by then. Eek. Yeah. Outside, she finds a car, which she presumes once belonged to the person holding out in the garage. She uses it to investigate the town. Man, this town is pretty cute. Police station there? Whoa, big school. I think that's a school, yeah. There isn't much in the town that Margaret is interested in investigating. She has almost everything she needs, so why whisk? Why whisk? Why whisk? Why risk a zombie bite? She returns to the bus, which is still dark because she hasn't found a light. She reads, squinting in the murky gloom of Beatrice's stomach, and falls asleep. On day 72, she hits the road in the dark and is promptly met with another big problem. Ah, shit. I really hope this isn't a dead end up here. I really, really hope. The road ahead is cluttered with ruined cars, so she pulls into a busy car lot, full with shambling ghouls, their shadowy figures caught in the half-light of Beatrice's eyes. Margaret has no interest in fighting this many zombies in the dark, so she pulls around and checks to see if the road ahead is also blocked. It is. She is stuck. She drives all the way back to the small town to consider her options, and on foot seems like the best idea, as Beatrice does make a hell of a grunting sound when she's moving. She just needs to kill a few zombies on the way. She finds a road in the fog and decides to follow it. Perhaps there's another route around the blocked highway? Looks like some kind of, trailer park. Welcome to Dixie Mobile Park. Hello there! You got any lamps? I love lamp. Why don't the citizens of Kentucky have lamps? And so, lampless, Margaret returns to the road. The trailer park was a dud. She slowly sneaks up the road in the direction of the blocked highway to see if she can find another route on foot. It's a slow battle through the hordes, and she needs to take little breaks here and there for an orange soda, and to plan her attack using the map. So here's the trailer park, here's whatever that is, here's this town. And this road here, into Moldraw, is blocked. But there might be a different way. We come down one of these tracks. She walks into the large lot and spies a gas station on the other side. Her need for cigarettes drives her forwards, slicing through the undead. Those guys are just laying there. Silly guys. Alright, let's take care of them. Group by group. Now the fog's clear. Once again, the useless store is empty of cigarettes. Margaret is getting a little desperate. This leads to more battles with the zombies as she hunts for an alternative path through the trailer park. There has to be another way to Moldraw. She searches each path, but can't find a clear route. Eventually, tired, exhausted, covered in gore, she scrambles her way back to Beatrice through the trees, trying to avoid more fighting. Margaret makes it in the end, shattered. Okay, get me back to the bus. Oh, phew, back to the dark bus. She's knackered. You deserve a beer after that, I'll tell you that. She's gonna eat it. Boiling hot, straight from the pan. Margaret. And she's gonna go to sleep. Even though it's only 7:30, she's knackered. Big day, big day. Good night, Margaret. Good night. And she wakes up, of course, with the night terror. You know what that means. Lovely cigarette. 31 cigarettes left. This is going to be a real issue. I think, in the future. So dark in here, no wonder she's scared. Don't know if she loves me. If only she could see me, laughing and dancing in the sun. Don't tell me she's not worth trying for. Your smile, your kiss. Okay. Good night, Margaret. Attempt number 2. It appears that on day 73, Margaret has once again put her headphones in. You can just imagine she's listening to lovely classical music while slicing zombies and exploring in Beatrice. She takes them out on day 74. The task for the next couple of days is something Margaret is calling Operation Moldraw. She found an annotated map that suggested there might be survivors in the town, and she's curious to see what's on offer over there. Friends of Paul's, perhaps? But the way to town is blocked, so she needs to find another path. Don't mind me, I'm just going to squish some on my way through. She drives in circles around the ruined trailer park and ultimately gets a little lost. That's a running theme for the next few days. It appears Margaret is trying to escape the destiny that awaits her in Louisville by pointlessly driving Beatrice around. You must face your fate in the end, Margaret. That is the way of Project Zomboid. Margaret drives back the way she came and heads east up another road, hoping she might find an alternative route to Moldraw. It's a long, long drive through nothingness and wasteland. She gets a little drowsy at the wheel. The soft hum of Beatrice is like a lullaby. Where are we then? Middle of nowhere. Yeah, it looks like we should be able to circle around, no? Here's Louisville over here. We completely mapped it out. That's the path we need to take. First, we're just going to say hello to Moldraw, I think. Then maybe down to here. And then we'll go look for Paul. We're mapping out Kentucky as the last human being alive. Want to go down every road and see every nook and cranny of this fine state. Some farms here, still no zombies to be seen. She drives for most of the afternoon until she finds a small abandoned market stall. In the fields, she finds some mushrooms and carrots to temporarily fill her stomach, and she stops for a smoke on the gravel outside the stall. Then it's time to keep driving, onwards, wherever the hell she's going. Margaret is looking for somewhere quiet to spend just a couple of days before she gets her bearings again. It's been a rough week for our little Margs, and she does deserve a little bit of fishing, relaxing and peace, don't you think? Down the road, she finds a very quiet farmhouse where she decides to spend the evening. She takes a bath upstairs, and the water is cold and only slightly green. The water tank on the roof seems to be working still. She gets ready for bed. Slug on the bed with us. Our sleeping companion for this evening. We'll have some berries for dinner. I'm going to read a comic book before bed. Margaret sits and reads the comic about defunct superheroes. Where are they now? And wonders what is in store for her over the coming days. Friends, death, or inevitable loneliness. She falls asleep. She woke up at midnight. The pitch black, with nothing but a slug on her bed. It's pitch black outside on day 74, and Margaret stares out of the window over the quiet midnight hour. She has no torch, of course, and isn't feeling particularly sleepy. Slowly, she walks down the stairs, aware that any zombie might make her die of a heart attack. Halfway out of the door, she remembers that she needs a lamp for Beatrice. She goes back into the house to grab one. Ah, we have light again. We can see all of our bugs in their true glory. Fantastic. It appears that carrying the lamp from the bus has tuckered her out, so she falls asleep immediately and wakes up at a more respectable daytime hour. If I was in the apocalypse, I would never go out at night time. Then it's more adventuring, until she finds a gas station. Margaret gets a whiff of a sweet cig on the air and stops to investigate. Unfortunately, like every other gas station in Kentucky, this one doesn't have any cigarettes in. The building next door has no cigs either, but it does have a few bullets behind the counter, which Margaret will gladly stuff into her pockets. She also finds a silly new hat. I look like a Viking, some description. With her hat on, she wanders a little into the small town, but there isn't much here either, just more zombies, of which she has meager interest in right now. Have hope. Margaret is not full of hope. It's time to keep moving in Beatrice towards Moldraw. She drives, then realizes she's probably driving the wrong way because she is lost, confused, disorientated, so she turns Beatrice around and heads back the other way. She finds a turning and decides to follow it, because why not? She kills a clown for its balloon, but then also decides this isn't the right way, just doesn't feel proper. They travel until they find somewhere to stay, but there is more lurking at this random farmhouse than she first expects. Yeah. Could stay up here. Oh. Zombie on the roof. What is your story, oh zombie on the roof? Ruth? Zombie on the roof? Can you tell me your great wisdom? I can only imagine that he was bitten and he climbed on top of the roof to escape the horrors. I mean, he's literally in the middle of nowhere. No car. No idea how he got here. There's another zombie there, though. Oh, dear. Quite a lot of zombies in there, also. And police officers. Oh, God. What happened here? Some kind of bandit. Oh, my God. What happened in here? So many dead bodies. Now I understand why that other zombie was on the roof. Clearly trying to hide from what the hell was happening in that garage. Margaret returns to the bus and decides she'd rather stay in Beatrice than the ruined farmhouse given the spooky circumstances. She reads before bed. And time for bed. Good night, Margaret. Right then, check the map. So this is where we are. We're going to come here and we're going to drive all the way down here. This way. I'm going to go check out this annotated map, which I think was somewhere over there. Bob, I want this place fortified like hell by the time I get back. There might be some survivors there. They set off in the dark with rain lashing against the windscreen. Margaret can hardly see the road, and as she turns a darkened corner full of stumbling undead. Okay. So, this is Moldraw then. Oh god, there's a tree there. Careful, 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 careful. Oh man. Maybe this wasn't such a good idea. The roads around Moldraw are infested with zombies. It's still very dark, early in the morning, and Margaret doesn't want to stop the bus. Why risk it? She keeps driving through the ruined town. That's quite a lot of zombies. She drives until it's a slightly lighter temper outside, then jumps out to get her bearings against the undead. Her axe snaps immediately in her hands, and the nightstick is ineffective. Shit. More zombies shamble up the road behind her. She'll need to drive on a bit further and change her weapon out. Need to get another weapon out of the back. Do we have anything in here? No. Shit. Ah! Okay. Margaret has not been brilliantly prepared for this. Unprepared is an understatement. Margaret has been useless. Her mind is still frazzled, and maybe she has a week's worth of hangover circling her brain. Thankfully, as ever, Beatrice provides a safe respite from the dead. In a weird panic, she takes a random turn down a very small path. Beatrice does not do well on small paths. Thankfully, there's a spot to turn around at the end. She can also read the map in peace. But where on earth did we drive to? Oh, interesting. We go down this dirt path past the old railway. Perhaps there's a little secret way in through the back where it's less busy. Yeah. Maybe not. It's going to be a real pain in the arse to get Beatrice down there with all those trees in the way. I mean, if there's survivors there, then yeah, it's worth it. But do we know that there's survivors there, Margaret? I mean, probably unlikely. Look how many zombies there are. Maybe we just call Operation Moldraw a complete and utter failure, Margaret. These things do happen. You have to accept your losses. Is it better just to head towards Louisville? Possibly. I mean, if there's this many zombies here, and this is just a small town, how many are going to be in Louisville, man? Hello, my little worm. Crawl to me, you pathetic subhuman slime. Disgusting. Little foul-smelling fiend. I missed my swing. It's almost very embarrassing. Once again, Margaret has hit a dead end. She feels like she's going insane. There's only one thing for it. A long, long drive the way they came. Oh, jeez. Yeah, that is too many zombies. Oh my god. Drive. They're smashing the windows. Go, bitches, go. Oh, sorry, Beatrice. Moldraw is dead. She can't distract herself from Louisville any longer. She needs to better understand Lesley's fate, and only Paul has the answers. And perhaps there are other survivors there that could need her help. She drives until she finds a small lake house, which is the perfect place to prepare her soul for the horrors of Louisville. Oh, it's Gorgeous. Yeah. Let's take care of these fools. Let's give Beatrice's glorious honker just one more little honk, I think. Rest on the floor for a moment and have a counter pop. Oh, shit. Oh, God. Oh, where did that guy come with his shovel? Let's go take care of this guy then. He almost ambushed me with his shovel. Lazy looking guy. Come out here into the light so I can see you. Who are you? Gonna sleep in the bus. I was gonna sleep in this house, but it seems fairly cursed. It's been a busy day, so Margaret sticks a VHS in one of Beatrice's magic slots and watches something about school, driving lessons, which she likely needs to be honest, then falls asleep. Okay, I think it's time to sleep. Good night, Margaret. Hello, Margaret. 3 o'clock in the morning you've woken up. It's day 76 and Margaret wakes up very early in the morning. Her sleeping pattern has gone completely out the window since she learned of Lesley's death. The inside of Beatrice is also starting to look truly insane. And so begins Margaret's journey to Louisville, which is quite a long one because of the blocked roads around Moldraw. She leaves in the dark and the roads are eerily quiet. We don't rejoin Margaret until it's light outside, where she needs to do some quick lumberjacking to clear a path around this truck. She also finds a sad note in the glove box of the ruined car nearby. There's a note in this car. I'm coming, Susan. I've got the car. We're going to make it. I don't know what the hell is going on out here. Just got to get to Louisville. There's a checkpoint there. They said on the TV. I'm coming, Susan. What did you bring with you on your trip? A single screwdriver. Well, I'm sure Susan would have been thrilled to see you. The road is long. Margaret loses concentration for a moment. And, well... Oh, another crash. Not the best place to crash. Sorry, Beatrice. We're definitely going to have to do some repairs to her before... Yep, no worries. You got a little bit scared there, Margaret. I would also have a quick emergency cigarette. Everything's okay. She cruises through town and then turns on the road to Louisville. There is another problem up ahead, of course, because the world of Zomboid is just full of problems. Ah, yes. One of the police cars has a key and some gas, so she uses it to check whether the railway bridge is clear. It is. That's a much easier route, so she takes Beatrice across. She checks to see if Beatrice needs any repairs after the past couple of days of crashing into trees and squishing zombies, but everything is still in tip-top condition, surprisingly. Beatrice, so strong. To avoid further congestion on the way to Louisville, Margaret heads down the railway hoping that it's clear of debris. As she gets closer to the city, the number of zombies begins to grow. Is there really any hope of survivors here? It's a good idea to stick closer to the river away from the main road, so she takes this dirt path. She drives through a rural suburb of Louisville, then further along until she finds a junkyard. The Stump family does have an affinity with junkyards. She stops for the night, checking a few nearby buildings and clearing up any stragglers nearby. Little note here in the scrap office. My old man always said that scrapping metal was like a box of chocolates. You never know what kind of shitbox you're going to get next. Not sure that makes much sense. Not actually even anywhere near Louisville yet. We have a little more ways to go. Let's get yourself some little carrots. We need to get you nice and healthy for your invasion of Louisville, Margaret. That carrot looks like a banana. She does a little exercise before bed to prepare the body for Louisville, then falls asleep. On the morning of day 77, she spies a fishing bait shop. Margaret does love fishing, so she hops out, takes out the nearby zombies, but is ultimately disappointed when there is absolutely zilch in the shop. She also realises she's gone the wrong way, and in this tricky predicament, she just about manages to get Beatrice turned the right way. The zombies squelch and scrape against the side of the bus. Eventually, she does make it to the main road, but there is more ruined traffic ahead. The military checkpoint is just beyond the row of burned out vehicles. She has to get out to clear the path. The entire military have been zombified, and Margaret collects their dog tags out of respect. She'll make some sort of shrine or cover them in bugs or something. Some lovely beef jerky, fresh from a corpse. Yes, she will eat it. Just up the road, she spies something interesting. Very interesting indeed. Should be able to... Oh my god. Oh, look at the size of that bus. Oh, it's enormous. It's twice the size. Oh, I'm telling you guys, look at that bus. Imagine all the room for activities in there. After killing a few more zombies, she hotwires this truck, which has gas, and uses it to begin moving the wrecks out of the way. It has been a long day and she's tired from all the skull smashing, so she gets back into Beatrice and goes to bed. Her work will continue tomorrow. She wakes up early again, so she does some more exercise before she heads out. Margaret doesn't really want to go outside when it's so dark. She's warm and safe inside Beatrice. Once it's light, she jumps back in the truck and continues moving wrecks. She also checks out this rather large, rather handsome bus. More beef jerky. Don't mind if I do. I love dead person beef jerky. Oh, baby. He's twice as big as Beatrice. Hello there. The bigger bus is in terrible condition, but it could be a fun project for the future. Inside of the bus, she finds a little friend. What the? Who are you? It's ambiguous amphibian. She clears the path of wrecks and then uses the truck to scout ahead. It's relatively clear in terms of the road, but there are many, many zombies. Margaret does something typically foolish. She drives the truck into the checkpoint and then toots the glorious honker. Chaos ensues. And relax. Margaret is pretty tired after all of that, so she rests on the sofa in Beatrice. After a little shut-eye, she drives the bus up the road, but yes, a few more zombies have arrived. Just a couple. In another moment of madness, she decides to use the shotgun. Oh, Lord Margaret, what are you doing? The zombies swarm in from all angles, and Margaret, being Margaret Stump, has hardly brought in any ammo at all. It's time for more evasive procedures. Oh shit. We might have bitten off more than we can chew here. Okie dokie. Into the woods we go. She sprints into the woods and manages to lose them. We just sneak around them. Well, that was fun. Safely back at the bus. Wow. You know what that calls for? Goddamn bottle of cold red wine. She's ridiculously tired though, so let's get some sleep. Good night, Margaret, you mean killer. Oh, another gunshot in the distance woke her up. Wonder if that's Paul. We're coming, Paul. I don't know what use I am. Well, I just killed quite a few zombies and I survived this long, but maybe I can help you somehow. Alright then. Should we leave all that chaos behind us and see what lies ahead instead? I think that seems like a good idea. Come on, Beatrice. Good girl. Let's go. On they go, deeper into Louisville. There are more zombies ahead, so she takes them out nice and clean. After clearing out a couple dozen more zombies, she goes back to the bus to have a snack and rest for a moment. Then it's back out again to loot the military tents. She finds a fancy new gas mask and a new backpack, but not much else. She's already wearing 40 items of clothing. She doesn't need any more. In one of the tents, however, she does find something pretty interesting. A groundbreaking note. There's a note here in this tent. Paul Dershowitz, Lesley Stump, Rebecca O'Neill, Frank Booth, Samuel Taylor and Susan Reed. Lesley was here with Paul. I mean, Lesley's still alive? No, must have been in the past. But that does give us an idea. Maybe Paul is here and maybe he is alive. Let's keep investigating. The note is a good omen. Paul and Lesley were here once. Maybe Paul is still here somewhere in this ruined city of Louisville. She searches a little longer, but she's sore from all the exercise she's been forced to do by the great egg in the sky, so she returns to Beatrice to rest for the evening. On the foggy morning of day 80, she makes the decision to push on. She could loot these tents for the next week, but she decides there are more important rewards along the road. Friends, other survivors, or at least a bit of closure. She pushes on, through the ruined camp on the outskirts of the checkpoint, and then towards the river. There's a bridge here which has a gas station on the other side. She refuels the bus. Then she explores a little further, but it's a barren wasteland on this side of the river. Keen to not get distracted from her goal, she turns and crosses the bridge again, then finds a mansion with a tennis court that will provide a little temporary respite. She just needs to clear the lawn of monsters first. The house itself is relatively peaceful, and she uses some water to create a delectable beer and bread soup in the back of Beatrice. She does a crossword before bed, all dead words like television and radio, then falls asleep. On the morning of day 81, she's up very early to fill her cooking pot with water from the toilet upstairs. She's going to make a delicious soup with it, just bloody scrumptious. Margaret needs to get a bit of meat on her bones before waging war against the dead city. Fill the pot with delicious toilet water for a morning soup, due this time with a bunch of beans in. I think we'll do some fishing today as well. She wants to go fishing out the back along the river, but she just needs to clear out the area so she doesn't get munched on. While clearing out the neighbouring mansion, she stops to wash her clothes as they're covered in gore. Then at last, after killing a few more dozen zombies, she feels safe enough to go fishing. She fishes for the entire day. In the early evening, a fierce summer storm rolls in, battering the trees with wind and rain. She seeks cover in Beatrice. Margaret slices up a fish, then stands in the middle of the bus listening to the thunder outside. The sky roars. Absent-mindedly, she begins shifting through her utility belt. Here's what she has in her belt. Oh, Margaret, you are quite special. This is her utility belt. She's got some antibiotics, lemongrass, painkillers, some flowers, some sellotape, some 6 screws, and a hat. Margaret, you are crazy. She just sits in the front of the bus and listens to the rain and thunder, thinks of what's next. Will she find any survivors? It seems less and less likely. She is probably all alone. Day 82 begins with us force-feeding Margaret an entire block of butter. Then it's out to investigate the nearby buildings. Margaret is considering settling down in Louisville after all, as the mansions along the river seem like a good base to venture further into the city from. She uses the map to pinpoint some potential targets where there might be life in the city, but they are far from where she is. It will be a battle to clear the path. She goes mansion to mansion, slowly pushing Beatrice up the road. The weather is awful. She has to take frequent breaks as swinging the crowbar exhausts her quickly. Whoa, okay. Sitting in a puddle. Margaret clears more buildings, kills more zombies, and then returns to the bus at the end of a slow day. Get yourself 1 bottle of wine, Margaret. You really need to consider what your plan here is, girl. At the moment, you're just sort of stumbling blindly into Louisville. Let's get some more rest. It's a cold and wet morning on day 83. There's even a wind chill, the first signs of an approaching winter. She goes into different mansions and then stands in the garden and imagines her future life. A fishing dock, a farm, a place to collect all her hats and other trinkets. Up the road is an even nicer one with a triple garage. The last mansion on the road turns out to be a survivor house, and she stores the weapons she finds on Beatrice's roof rack. She kills more zombies and once again gets tired after the day's work of clearing just 2 or 3 mansions. It's going to be a long journey. She's drowsy, she's moderately exhausted. Just time to go back to the bus. Mansion by mansion, building by building, we will claim Louisville, or at least find some evidence of our friends. Good night, Margaret. Day 84 is much the same. She explores, kills zombies, clears buildings, and generally gets a feel for Louisville. It's a very slow day, and she gets tired around 2 PM because she slept so poorly the night before. She reads, does exercise, and then simply stands in the back of Beatrice and stares into the void. Spends the rest of the day just sat in the back of Beatrice contemplating her immense loneliness. And then she goes to bed. On day 85, Margaret meets a citizen of Louisville. Who put you there? What do you want from me? Who are you? Hello? Anyone in here? Who put this gnome here? What do you want from me, Mr. Gnome? Who are you? Like some kind of guardian. She kills more zombies and then finds a working truck, which she uses to explore the road ahead. There are quite a few zombies in her path. Oh my goodness. Gas station here. She does, however, find a gas station. This will be important, as Margaret is currently down to just 20 cigarettes in her pouch. She returns to Beatrice and cooks a fish in the oven. It is delicious. Margaret needs more fish, and this mansion has a lovely little fishing boathouse out the back. It's perfect, so she casts her rod and fills her bag with some more fresh fish. It's the perfect house, and as she eats another fish in the back of the bus, she thinks about what her life might be like if she decided to settle down here for a while. She falls asleep, dreaming about her life in the house. On day 86, she wakes up far too early again, so we force her to do so much exercise that she starts to feel immense discomfort. Then it's back to the fishing house at 4:30 for more fish, which she does until she runs out of bait.
so she spends most of the day scurrying around in the dirt, looking for insects to feed to the fish.
The David again. Hello, David. Don't mind me, I'm just searching for bugs in your garden, mister. I love the idea that she's meant to be looking for survivors and instead she's scouring the woods for bugs. She sits by the pool and smokes a cigarette, pretending she's in Cancun. After her bug hunt, it's back to the bus and she finds a pair of wet socks in her backpack, so naturally she puts them on her bed. Full of fish, she honks Beatrice's glorious honker to draw some zombies out of the woods. She kills some zombies, quite a few turn up in the end, and then retreats to the bus to eat this absolutely enormous fish with her bare hands. Margaret is sore all over from the exercise, so she really shouldn't have gotten out of the bus to fight. As soon as she can, she retreats inside again, though she is certain that when she next steps foot outside Beatrice, the undead will have swarmed around her. She is tired and fatigued, so she spends the rest of the day reading. Tomorrow we kill zombies. Yeah. As expected, they are swarming the bus. Summon the zombies. Margaret strips the clothes from the zombies. She'll need them later for tailoring, and she doesn't want them to rot. She spends the rest of the day tooting the horn and killing the zombies that swarm. If she is to live here, she wants them all gone, zombie by zombie. Margaret will retake Louisville, a little corner of peace in the dead city. Wow. Absolute slaughter, Margaret. Absolute slaughter. Killing zombies and eating sandwiches. Common mallow sandwich. Delicious mallow sandwich. Alright then. And we shall read. For the rest of the evening, get our foraging up so we can find bugs more easily, my darling Margaret. And let's go until, let's say, 8 PM. And then tomorrow we just continue on, slaughtering all of the zombies in Louisville. Let's go 8:30. Good night, Margaret. Margaret dreams of the crowbar firm in her hands and prepares herself for another day of slaughter and exploration. Morning, Margaret. You've woken up rather early again. Let's have an orange soda for breakfast, shall we? On day 88, Margaret is up early, so she does some exercise and then reads a book. Then it's out into the destruction, the sea of zombies. She toots the horn to draw in more zombies and sees them off. She takes a break afterwards to rest her weary arms. Up the road, she finds an ATV on a driveway, the perfect little vehicle for Louisville. Nice, it's in decent condition as well. It's even got a little tiny bit of gasoline. Margaret clears out the zombies around the gas station and checks for cigarettes. Unfortunately, there are none here. She does, however, find this useful van outside, also in pretty good condition. She can use it to ferry resources around in the future. It's back to the bus after that short and uneventful day because her arms are sore and she's a little sleepy. Leave this sea of bodies behind us. Or, yeah, crunch them, squelch them down, Beatrice.
On day 89, she drives the bus up the roads towards the distillery. It's a potential base site and she wants to clear the area first. She checks the small buildings down the road, mostly this office for cigarettes, but there are none in the desks. She does, however, find 40 cigarettes in this shop.
Oh, cigarettes. 40 cigarettes. Phew. We're saved, Margaret, we're saved.
Margaret also investigates the nearby streets. Some of the buildings have been burned, and she wonders what happened here when the apocalypse struck. Then it's on to the distillery to see what's happening. It's teeming with zombies.
Goodness me. Really sounds like it's steaming in there. They're going to rip the doors off. I need those doors, guys.
It's dark and eerie inside, but relatively clear. In the evening, she returns to the bus and falls asleep, dreaming of the future.
Good night.
On day 90, she wakes up early again, so the egg in the sky forces her to do exercise. She must get fitter if she wants to conquer Louisville. Fueled up with exercise adrenaline, she toots Beatrice's horn. A lot. It's time to draw in the undead again. The zombies stumble out of the fog. Margaret has swapped to a spiked baseball bat, and it is extremely satisfying. The zombies' heads simply pop like ripe tomatoes.
Oh, I love your hat, ma'am.
The slaughter is long and tiring. She needs to rest in the bus as her arms are sore.
Slurp on some sloop. Slurp on some sloop. And then we're gonna rest.
Once the zombies stop shambling in, she turns on the siren in this ambulance to try and draw in more stragglers. While the siren blares, she goes fishing. When she goes back to check, only 2 zombies have come to the beacon of the ambulance, which means the area directly around her must be relatively safe. It's a lovely feeling. Her manual toil with the baseball bat has paid off. She has a celebratory giant fish and watches a VHS in Beatrice to relax. The VHS is all about a woman dreaming that she lives in the world of Project Zomboid, lollipops, shotguns and zombies. Margaret does not enjoy the VHS. She is living in the nightmare and she does not need reminding of this. She falls asleep, a little uneasy, but there are no groaning zombies at the window, because she has killed them all. On day 91, she heads out while it's still dark outside and checks on the ambulance. There are only 3 zombies. It's peaceful to crush their skulls in the morning light. She leaves the siren on again, then heads up to the distillery.
Oh, such a harrowing sound in such a silent world, Margaret.
The distillery is lovely inside, with arches, walkways and giant tanks. It would make an excellent home one day, she thinks. Outside, she smashes the window of this distillery van and the alarm shocks her. She hasn't heard that sound for a long time. It's not too bad though, as this should draw in zombies from the nearby area. And oh boy, a bunch of them arrive. Then Margaret makes a foolish, almost fatal mistake. Please watch.
Oh my god, Margaret. Oh my god, that was so close. It's okay, she kept it together, but my god, was that close. Here they come then.
Yes, Margaret was almost eaten. She clears out the rest of the zombies by the distillery, their bodies pile high in the parking lot, and then return to the bus for a breather and another huge fish. Then it's back to kill more zombies. A pattern establishes itself in her life. Slaughter, fish, slaughter. She is numb to the zombies. Margaret just needs to be careful. No more corridors and closed doors, only fight outside unless it is absolutely necessary. To calm her nerves, she goes foraging and finds a rare item in the woods.
What is that? I don't even know. A mango? A wild mango. Do they grow in Kentucky?
But even in the woods, her favourite place, Margaret is not safe.
You, my god, lunged out at me from behind a tree. Oh, god. Been a rough couple of days, Margaret. After relative peace for a long time, you've had some horrible run-ins.
Margaret decides it's time to do a little scouting. She hotwires the ATV and fills it with gas, then takes it on a quick whip around the nearby area. There are lots of large buildings, smaller neighbourhoods and a whole lot of zombies. Louisville will be an endless struggle.
So this little friend, we'll call him Alan. Alan the ATV is going to be how we get around town.
She gets back to the bus, cooks up a mushroom stir-fry and reads before bed. She's almost level 10 in foraging, which can only mean more bugs and mushrooms. She falls asleep, ready for the next few days.
9 p.m. on the dot, and we shall rest. Good night, Margaret, my little hero. On day 92, she heads out on the ATV to start clearing the nearby area. She loots, she returns to the ATV, she loots some more. This is classic surviving, clearing out the block house by house. She keeps plenty of notes on the map as she goes, and Margaret is many things, and organised is one of them. Sort of. At the end of the day, with the whole block clear, she returns to the bus and eats plenty of peanut butter. And a whole tub of peanut butter. Stuff your face, Margaret Stump. Outstanding. Good night, Margaret. Day 93 is extremely similar to the previous one. She heads out again on the chilly morning, the first properly cold morning of the year, and begins slaughtering her way up another block. She marks off her map over and over again, kills more zombies, and then returns at the end of another relatively straightforward day. Margaret also begins moving her things into the mansion.
Beatrice is already overflowing, and this humble home will be all hers for the next 100 days, if the zombie gods are willing. Margaret just needs to survive the next few days, which is easier said than done, as you will soon see. Good night, Margaret. On day 94, Margaret hooks up the generator and runs from room to room in the mansion, flicking on the lights. It's a home, Margaret. A home. Is your office? Go pick a bedroom. Yes, this one, I think. Margaret begins decorating immediately. If you think Beatrice is messy, you just wait and see what Margaret does to her new mansion. We simply need to put our bugs on the table. Actually, let's put bugs on each of the chairs so it just looks like they're having a little chat. Bug tea party. Splendid, Margaret. Just chuck a couple of maggots on the table as well. Right then. Let's get boogieing. Onwards for more looting. With the bug council in place having very important bug chats at the kitchen table, Margaret ventures out again, her axe firm in her hand. She feels good, like she has a purpose. Lesley is a ghost, and yet she is alive. She will reclaim Louisville in his stinky honor. Hello, my little worm friend. Goodbye. The slaughter continues throughout the day, broken up with periods of contemplative rest in the sea of rotting corpses. She investigates 2 buildings and a couple more, but not too many because it is growing dark and she is sleepy. Then she jumps back on Alan the ATV to return to Beatrice and her new house. She must say hello to the Bug Council, of course, to see whether they've come up with anything interesting. Not much has been decided on. Unfortunately, they all speak different languages. Margaret reads before bed and once again settles in for a very peaceful night's sleep. She hasn't had a night's terror for days. It's much the same on day 95. She heads out on Alan the ATV and begins clearing another neighbourhood. She finds a katana on one zombie, which is an excellent trophy and emergency weapon. Margaret uses the horn to lure the zombies in from all directions. She is bloodthirsty. During one of her rest breaks, it almost goes completely wrong. Oh my god. Oh my god. It got a bite out of me. Alright, no more sitting outside, Margaret, and passing time. You stood up so slowly. Got a bite out of me, but something saved me. I think he tried to bite through my trousers. No more resting on the floor, Margaret, in the open. Lesson learned. That could have been it. Could have been it. Lesson well and truly learned. Jesus. Yes, just like that, the Zomboid's gods shine upon her. The zombie tried to munch her trousers, which protected her. Margaret was almost nibbled on. She kills more zombies, and then, having learned her lesson, she rests on the floor inside a cupboard. Margaret just loves cupboards. So cozy, so nice. Margaret toots the horn, loots some more buildings, and then returns to the bus on the ATV. In the bus, she thinks about the zombie bite. That sound, the hum. Could have been it. Could have been all over. Simply losing concentration for a mere moment. Poor thing, Margaret. I won't let anything like that happen to you again. I will be focused 100%. No more resting in the middle of the street. Foolish. Foolish, foolish, foolish. On day 96, it is strangely dark in the bus when she wakes up. The battery is dead. Oh god, Beatrice, I am so sorry I let you die. Hello, Bugs. I've got a hockey mask. He's going to oversee the table. Mr. Hockey himself. He is the new mayor of this house. I hope that you respond well to him. Oh, Margaret, poor thing. Right, we need to be on the lookout for a heavy-duty battery then. When she checks the ATV, its battery is also dead. Has there been some kind of mad EMP attack? She heads down the road to jump into the truck she recalled is outside a mansion. She's got a little bit of gas in her, just enough, I think, to go and collect more batteries. Watch out, there's a mad woman on the road. Oh, God. Oh, God. You okay, Margaret? Jeez.
Jesus, okay. Slowly over dead bodies, Margaret. Oh! She grabs a couple of heavy-duty batteries from the distillery vans, but then needs to venture deeper into Louisville to search for a standard battery for the ATV. It takes her further into the city than she has gone before, the things you do for your imaginary vehicle friends in the apocalypse. Margaret pulls up in the radio station parking lot because there are cars there, and she decides to investigate a little further on this foggy morning. She kills more zombies and then needs to find a safe place to rest away from the exhaustion of swinging the axe. Okay, let's find somewhere to rest. Let's just chill in here with Mr. Skeleton over there. Lovely. Alright, chilling by the skeleton did make her anxious, which kind of makes sense. She's sure she saw it move, but perhaps not. Have some sardines, Margaret. Don't look directly at the skeleton. Yeah, we shall give it a gift. Farewell. Poor thing. Back outside, she finds a lovely car that is in good working condition. She'll be back for this one. Margaret kills the entire newsreader cast from the Kentucky radio station in the parking lot, and then needs to return to the skeleton resting area to relax again. Killing zombies is tiring work. Home sweet skeleton. Hello, my little skeleton friend. Just going to take a little video of the skeleton, I think. Save it for later. Oh, this looks crazy. When she goes back outside, the fog has cleared, and she kills zombies until she is drowsy and hungry. She jumps back in the truck and heads back to the mansion. Margaret replaces the dead battery in Beatrice with a shiny new one, and jumps inside to bathe in her bustly light. There we go, we have light again. Beatrice lives! She is alive! I have once again come to smoke a cigarette inside of your warm belly, Beatrice. Good night, Margaret. Say good morning to the bugs. We have more maggots we can put on the table. We need to give Mr. Hoggy the microphone so that he can properly address the bug council. On day 97, Margaret says good morning to the bug council and then swaps out the ATV's battery for a new one. Then it's up the road to check out the industrial buildings, including this large factory. She is hit by a wave of severe depression as she investigates. Something about the looming factory has really got her down. The warehouse is full of tools and seeds she'll need for her future in Louisville. When she heads outside, she turns on the siren in this police car to draw in the zombies. They flock over to her, like maggots to a corpse. She clears out that small horde with ease, then heads back to base. We cook her up some scrumptious roast to cure her depression. Roasted vegetables are indeed the answer to all of life's ailments, and then begin our next project. A tranquility garden full of worms, a home for our carrots, cabbages and potatoes. Margaret is embracing her sticky green thumbs. Nice, we have the beginnings of a little farm. After a short but busy day, she is ridiculously tired, so she falls asleep in the back of the bus, moving ever closer to that outstanding 100-day number. She might just sleep all the way through. She did. She slept till 5:10. It takes 27 days to grow the potatoes. Let's have half a box of cereal for breakfast. On day 98, she goes fishing as she wants to prepare some delicious fish for her 100-day celebration and beyond. We caught one small perch, and then the fishing rod broke. She fixes up the rod and returns to the dock, a couple of fishing net traps under her arm. With her newly repaired rod, she catches plenty more fish that she sticks in the mansion's fridge. A home is only a home if your fridge is full of fish. Margaret spends the rest of the morning beginning to organise her new home. She picks out rooms that will have a purpose in the future, then does some work on Alan to fix up his engine. Then she hops on the ATV and goes back to the industrial district to see what's happening. Right, there's not much to actually loot here, but I just want the area to be clear. Okay then. Absolute slaughter. Yeah, like there's not much here. It's just a massive oil plant, I think. Wow, there's a lot of them in there. Listen to them throb. Throbbing zombies. The battle in the industrial district goes on for most of the afternoon. After the fighting, Margaret almost makes a very, very terrible mistake. I'm going to grab some of this toilet water though. Portaloo toilet water. It's even finer, even more delicious. Vintage. Please don't forget about this toilet water. It makes her oddly philosophical for a moment. But as she waffles on, please don't forget that she is drinking this toilet water as she speaks. Strangely peaceful in this industrial wasteland, the past follies of the human race. It now has absolutely no purpose whatsoever. People used to fight and die over this stuff. Now it is entirely pointless. And then the discovery of her error. Oh, she's drinking tainted water. Oh God, I really hope that hasn't made her sick. She was drinking the tainted toilet water. Oh no. How much did you drink? I poured it out now. Oh no, hopefully that doesn't kill her. Can you imagine? That was Margaret's downfall. Drinking tainted toilet water. It seemed very fitting. Let's see if she gets sick over the next couple of days. Oh no. She drives back to the mansion. Her stomach feels funny. I really hope she's not sick. We'll find out in the morning, won't we? Jeez. Margaret sits on her new armchair and reads in the dying light. Her belly is still gurgling, but she doesn't feel too sick. Maybe she's okay. Maybe it won't be a problem. Maybe everything will be just fine. Grab a cigarette for breakfast. Right, what's the target today on day 99 as we make our progress through Louisville? I think it's going to be clearing out more of these neighbourhoods, isn't it? Ah, yes. Day 99, the penultimate day. She's back in the suburbs, looting through various houses and making very satisfying little crosses on her map as she goes. Peanut butter and marmalade. Little snack in our cupboard. Just some chips, I think. I love sitting in cupboards. How about you, Margaret? We'll give it like a 30-minute rest. We'll mark off the buildings that we've cleared. These first two here on the block. Ah, copy of Hotties. Yes, that's what Margaret needs on the next sad afternoon. Margaret ticks off a couple more houses, then jumps on the ATV. It's dark out and she's getting sleepy. Grab a smoke. It's almost day 100, Margaret. We've almost done it. You've made it. Margaret Stump, you made it. 100 days. Fall asleep. Wake up on day 100. We did it, Margaret. Day 100. You were still here, alive and thriving. Aviators on, long, flowing grey hair. A butcher, a hero, the last survivor in Knox County. Today is a day of celebration, Margaret, because you have made it to 100 days. The bugs are giving you a little clap, Margaret, and it is very well deserved. And I think you can treat yourself to a fish also. A big catfish for breakfast on your 100th day. Today is a day of pure joy. She will eat a massive catfish, she will change into a delectable vintage fur coat, and she will get blackout drunk and lie around on the floor like a dying starfish. Our hero. Drunk. In front of a dead TV. She is alive. But at what cost? This is Margaret Goddamn Stump, and she's made it to 100 days. I think just before we fall asleep, day 100... Looks like she's going to fall asleep at 3 PM in the afternoon because she just got absolutely blackout drunk. We are going to eat a TV dinner. Do not fall asleep with the TV dinner in the oven, Margaret. Please. You're going to eat it in the kitchen like a true drunk person. It's only 3 PM, but she's knackered. 100 days of surviving will take it out of a person. She returns to the beautiful Beatrice, her solace, her home on wheels, her best friend in the apocalypse. She snuggles down on the musty old sofa and dreams of the future. 100 days in Louisville, taming the wild, dead city and making it her own. Are there survivors out there? Deep down, Margaret doubts it. But you always have to hope. Thank you to everyone who stuck it out to the end of this part of Margaret's life. I appreciate all your likes and comments so much, and it's amazing to see how much Margaret's story has resounded with some people. We recently hit 15,000 subscribers, so I'd also like to say thanks for that too. We'll be back with more Project Zomboid and more Margaret when the time is right. Thank you, sweet eggs. See you later.